Yeah. So anyway, did you guys shoot this weekend?
Nope.
Oh, we were home hanging out.
Yeah. For those of you guys who are listening, this was the weekend where Ophelia arrived
Mhm.
to New York City. You guys didn't shoot this week in the middle of fall.
Oh, thank God.
We were in our couch watching TV.
Was this by
all
design?
weekend.
Was this by design or
No.
you just
No, it just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually did something petty. A group of us looked at all the inquiries that we received, and we're actually thankful that none of these brides hired us for these
that
weddings.
weekend?
Yeah,
Oh my
because that
God.
would have been horrible.
Yeah, it was a complete shit show for I think all of our weddings.
And there was a lot of weddings on Saturday and Sunday.
yeah.
I was on Instagram stories. I was like, oh, another wedding,
did you
another
shoot
wedding,
this
another
weekend?
wedding.
No, I didn't. I had 2 engagements that got rescheduled.
No, also, Karis was home with the rest of
No,
us.
she was still shooting engagements and stuff.
I did not. I said it got rescheduled.
Oh,
Why was she
oh.
shooting it again?
Engagement in the rain.
But PPS had 1 or 2 weddings.
Yes.
At least 2 weddings, I think.
Yeah,
right?
one bride cried
Really?
because of the rain.
Oh, because of the rain. Yeah, you know what? Like this, like we spoke about this last time.
Mhm.
You know, like you can always come back. Put your dress on. Put your suit on. We could come back for 30 minutes after.
It's
you
like
know, in the future
$500,
day.
$1,000 for hair and makeup.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it means that much to them,
Mm-hmm.
they would dish that out.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
That's
if I was
true.
them.
Or you just find a venue that has an indoor shooting location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
but
even
how many
then,
do?
you want some photos outside.
What?
You want some photos outside, no? Do you want all the photos inside?
Bring an umbrella.
That's-
Yeah.
You want photos outside? Bring an
Did you
umbrella.
get to go outside at all? I know some people had like a good window where they were able to still to go outside for portraits.
Listen, you can shoot when it's raining. I can shoot when it's raining, but not when it's windy. Like, the rain's coming in sideways. I can't work with that.
And you,
Well, you were by the water. Some people were like
Yeah.
by venues more inland, so they didn't have that problem.
Yeah.
I saw someone shooting on the beach on one of the Facebook groups.
yeah, it was Dan Inzi. Shout out to Dan Inzi. He was shooting on the beach. They were
And-
running around.
and they had a
Oh,
blast.
no.
They were just running around and stuff and just getting
Yeah.
wet. I was
Yeah.
like, all right. I mean, they're making something positive out of this weather.
But
Yeah.
your bougie couples are not going to run around the beach with their $10,000 dresses. They're not doing that.
No.
Maybe not.
Maybe
not.
they're not doing that. So anyway, yeah, I shot 2 weddings this weekend, 2.5. The Friday I had the most beautiful day for an engagement session in the city. But the weddings on both days, we didn't do any pictures. I mean, they just roll with the punches. They didn't cry though, but they were like, yeah, whatever we get. So on Saturday night, I got 1 night shot outside when it drizzled a little bit, but that was it. And then on Sunday, I shot my very first composite.
Look at you. Learning
I
your
don't even-
skills
I
during a
don't-
tropical storm.
Well, listen, I knew how to do it. It's just that I never did it because it's a pain in the ass to do.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to add more luminosity to my work. My work is bright enough as it is. Okay.
Who is your lighting assistant?
Lighting assistant,
Second
just someone
shooter?
on my team. Who was it?
The second shooter?
Yeah, the second shooter. I had a third shooter that day, an assistant. So she was covering the dance floor, and and the thing was, the bride was she had on her shot list. She wanted a shot by the bar. Have you guys ever been to Patello's?
To eat.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a wedding there.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have a bar that's really nice, but the thing is, I think all the tables were all stacked up against it. So I was like, there's no way we can shoot here. But there's a little area where there's like benches and stuff,
Mhm.
and it was pretty quiet there. And they lined the entire place. The hair. Oh, by the way, these floral people were amazing. They did it up really nice. So the whole place was just covered in candles. And I got
Love
Pokeballs
that.
everywhere.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got Pokeballs everywhere. So
How long did it take you to make the composite?
shooting it or editing it?
Both.
From start to finish.
10 hours.
Shooting it took me like maybe a minute. Maybe it didn't take me that long.
Uh,
Yeah, because I knew how to do it. It's just I never did it because I knew there was the post production was going to be a pain in the ass. You
Yeah.
know.
There's a lot of factors involved too. Like if there's a lot of light spill on the floor, on the walls, if you have those scenarios, it could take a lot of editing time to
Editing,
clean that up.
yeah.
what did you learn you did wrong?
I need to take a background photo first.
Oh, you didn't. Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because if the whoever's lighting, if they move from the left to the right, technically they're out of the frame on the left.
He was
So-
not out completely. I still had the pole. So
AI would probably help you a little bit.
fuck the AI,
Yeah.
whatever. So next time I'll just do an empty shot.
Yeah, that's
That's
the concept.
the way you're supposed
That's
to do
the
it.
concept.
He's like,
yeah.
where's the mask button? I'm like, what button? There's no button for mask. He's like, they said mask button. I look for the mask button. I'm like, it's at the bottom of your layers.
Yeah.
Clearly, I don't use Photoshop.
It's the one with a circle.
I've been a wedding
Hello.
photographer.
He has no idea. I'm like, why?
You didn't outsource it to Karis to edit?
I'm not gonna bother her for
couldn't
that.
dare ask me.
I didn't want to. Yeah, I don't ask Karis for nothing. You know.
Why do you do this?
Why am I here?
If you do this, you gotta be responsible for your stuff.
Yeah, I would never hear the end of it. You know.
And like he was like coming into the office. Yeah, I'm gonna try this like composite editing in my Photoshop, and kind of like wishing me to be like, oh, just like give it to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know
I
what?
was
Do you
like,
need help?
I didn't know.
Do you need help?
He's like, where's the mask button? I'm like, what button are you looking for?
What are these layers? What does it mean? I think I've only used Photoshop maybe 4 times in my career, maybe 5.
What?
And
And
then
that's
4
to add the cats.
That's with the cats.
That's to add cats.
That's
That's not what Photoshop is for.
that's the gist of what I can do in Photoshop. I can swap out your bouquet for a kitten that's airborne, and that's
Airborne.
about as good as I can do. That's what you're gonna get from that's a Ben Lau special, you know. But now I can do composite. No, I don't want to do composites, so we're gonna cut.
It's a
that
lot
out.
of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I do them when I have to, but they are good about it.
But I had no portraits, so I was like, you know, yeah, I had no pictures of like formal portraits of the crew, and I know that she had her heart set on getting a bar photo. But I was like, the bar's not happening, but we can do it over here. So, the shooting part didn't take that long, but the editing part was a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's all good. To answer your question, I think maybe I spent an hour.
I imagine doing that for 12 images, 15 images.
No thanks.
No thanks.
Yeah, no thanks. We're good.
No thanks.
But anyway, you guys ready to start this podcast?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. So welcome to the Focus AF podcast. My name is Ben,
This is Karis.
This is Jen.
And this is Ro.
and we are not Focused AF.
No, we're trying to be. It's early in the morning.
Again.
Got
Okay,
cocktail
now.
We're day drinking at 11. So what are we drinking today? We are drinking a salted caramel old fashioned. Hold on, let me say. We are drinking a salted caramel apple cider old fashioned. What do you
Very
guys
wordy,
think?
very
Smells-
fall.
Smells delicious.
Mm-hmm.
But does it taste delicious?
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
tasted it.
I don't like old
Yeah.
fashions, but this is the one.
Yeah, this is good. Not too strong.
This is good.
Mix it.
It's
mix
good?
Very
it, bro.
good.
Yeah,
Very fall.
the cinnamon, there's
gotta-
a
you
little bit
gotta
of
mix
cinnamon
them.
in there. There's a
don't
little
have
star
anything.
anise in there.
The cinnamon stick. Don't you have cinnamon stick?
You should.
Ben said use cinnamon stick
in
to
there.
mix it. I was
Yeah.
like, how do I mix it?
And I toasted them this morning before you guys arrived. Just smell a little toasty there too.
But you should have a real stir.
Oh my God.
thing.
And Jen's already about, I want to say
we have
60.
napkins somewhere.
It's like
Rolando.
juice.
Where did I put? Hey, what you do with the tray with napkins? Oh no, Rolando.
Oh.
And we
They're
should have
giving it
like
to you.
coasters. Don't
Jen's about 60.
Thank you.
Actually, Jen's about 80%
you-
done with her
Jen's
drink.
done with her drink.
That means I need to make another one, but I don't have extra cinnamon, so I might just have to top
I
you up.
might have to take the drink of one of our guests today.
Just take theirs.
Well, that's a
You
nice
don't
segue.
want that.
You don't want that garbage. But yes, that's a nice segue to our guests.
Yeah.
We have a very, very special guest, personal friends of ours, of the Laos and the Molinas. So I've had the good fortune of running into our special guests about, I want to say 12, 13 years ago. You guys been shooting that long? He's nodding.
You can talk now.
Oh, I can. Okay. Yeah.
So I want to. All right. I want to welcome to the podcast our very good friends Richard and Andrea Flores. Welcome to the
Thank
podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
having
having
us.
us here. We're very excited.
Welcome. Bienvenidos.
Did you learn that last night?
But yeah, to answer your question, Ben, I think we have been like into business since what?
Since 2010.
2010.
2010. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same
That's
as
about
us.
the whole time we all kind of
Yeah.
Mhm.
dabbled into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I ran into you at not a slideshow, at a trade show. I want to say
WPPI.
no.
No, no.
That
Met
was
him at a
after.
trade show. It was
Yeah.
like a whole bunch of other photographers. They were just wandering around. So it must have been like a wedding wire event or the knot event.
Yeah, it was for our favorite, the knot.
Mm.
The knot event.
Yeah, they invite you over for
You
free
used to be
drinks.
part of the knot?
I did it for like 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I didn't
We
know.
went to 2 knot events.
One of them was I wasn't even a member at that point. They were trying to get us to come back in. So I think I've been to 3 knot events
2
total.
or 3, yeah.
Well, you met Richard at one, so that's
At one of them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at this guy.
Well, we met Richard at another throwback.
Oh,
a,
yeah.
a Jasmine Star event.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
I remember those times.
Yeah. That
Did
was
she do like a restart event in Jersey or something like that?
It was in the city.
it was before she did the restart.
That was the restart.
Was it?
Yeah.
The Creative Live thing?
No. Well, the name of the tour, it was like a restart tour.
Oh,
something
that's
like
right.
that.
That's
Yeah.
right. So
Jasmine
it was
Star?
during that time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
That was a nice location.
Yeah.
That they rented out. It had a nice balcony with a city view of Midtown.
It was there, like some old guy hit on her, right? I think.
On who?
Like on the mic, like when she was
Who hit
taking
on who?
questions. And
Jasmine?
some old guy like hit on
Yeah,
her.
he was like extra creepy.
He's like an old guy.
Were both you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both
Okay,
there.
that's what we were trying to figure out this morning.
Yeah. Were you there, Andrea?
No,
No,
I
it's
wasn't.
Richard, right?
Andrea
I
was
wasn't.
working.
We were in a critical time of our years there. So only one could.
Only one
Was
went.
able to
Oh yeah,
go,
because we had
yeah.
to pay for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oh, we
couldn't
know all
afford
those
it.
times, girl.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
You-
What? Like
what-
there wasn't like a buy one get one.
No.
Entry fee or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
No. So one or two had to go.
Yeah.
But
You gotta choose one.
yeah. The starting off times, we
Rock,
all
paper, scissors,
started
go.
with a
Jen went. She threw the ticket out the window, and then I came back up.
I guess you're going, hon. I don't know where my ticket went. The bird took it.
She was huge. I mean, she's still huge, but in another
Yeah, back
aspect
Another
of,
way, yeah.
the industry.
Yeah.
So around that time, I think that was probably like around 2010 too, I think. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, I think that was like 2011 around
Yeah,
there.
Okay.
yeah.
And you guys had just started.
We just started, yeah. So we started in 2010, and actually, like right before my very first wedding, I bought like one of the Jasmine Star's Creative Live workshop things, and I devoured that thing like
Yeah.
overnight because the
Did it
next
help you?
day we had a wedding, or 2 days later we had a wedding. So
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Did it help you though?
like all of us.
Oh yeah.
yes.
It did help me. And then I also brought a friend with me at the time who had shot like several weddings as my I brought him as like my second shooter. So
So when you guys started, was it just you or the both of you? Like, give us the beginnings.
So yes, it was the both of us. We were dating at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and so like Richard said, it was his first wedding, and he had asked this friend to come with him, and he also sold a photo booth to this couple, and he had the
nice.
great idea to I can get my girlfriend and she can do the photo booth. So that's how I came into the picture.
As a photo booth
basically-
operator.
You wanna come on a date with
Yeah.
me?
And I remember we went to buy like all black clothes. And everything
yeah, we had nothing. We had
for
nothing.
the event. Yeah.
We never shot a single wedding in our life. Well, actually, I started like diving into photography as a hobby, as most people, and then a friend at the time recommended me to photograph his best friend's wedding. I had no idea. I made like a price sheet quick overnight. I had one package. It was $1,000. It included everything. It
That's
included
really good.
album. It included engagement session. Everything.
Oh, but it
And-
included an album.
Yeah, everything.
Oh, is
everything.
it an album?
And the photo booth.
And the photo.
And the photo booth.
And engagement.
Okay, I was gonna say you had us beat
I
at
was
the
like-
price for your
Yeah,
first
yeah,
wedding, but
yeah.
then you had all these extras.
No, I was like, for $1,000, you can get all four. You get the Laos and the Molina
I
for
don't know why. I
$1,000.
don't know why I priced it.
Hey, we had
You
to
get
start.
Moses Cruz too.
No,
You get
but
Moses Cruz.
that's good. Like we charge like 3, 4.
Yes.
What are you laughing about?
He said for $1,000. He said for $1,000, he could get
The Laos and the
you
Molina.
can get the Laos, the Molinas, and I said you get Moses Cruz too.
It's true.
Moses
Our
only
first
charged
wedding,
$60.
Yeah, Moses' first wedding was $60. Ours was
Oh my
like
God.
Like
200. So
$300.
you
No,
had
wait.
us beat.
I did actually before that. I did shoot like remember that little wedding that I shot in that restaurant by myself.
Okay, it's like
Oh
a small.
yes, no,
and-
but you did also a ceremony from the Cuban couple.
Yeah, them, and that was like 200. They gave me like I didn't really charge them actually. They just gave me like $200
Okay.
tip.
Yeah.
So, but then the real very first wedding was that one, the $1,000 wedding.
Yeah.
So I showed up to their house, nervous as hell, but I guess they just liked it. They liked me and they trusted me. I had no wedding picture. I showed them like
Yeah.
families, strawberries, and cars
And models.
and models.
So
Models from what was that place in the art
Model
factory that they
Mayhem?
used to Model Mayhem? Like
Oh,
those
wow.
photo
Oh,
shoots
yeah.
they used to do?
Yeah. They used to do like meetups. And
Those
stuff.
meetups,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, our factory's been around for that long?
Yeah. But before they started doing events, it was the rental. You could always You can have like a cubicle
Like
there.
space.
You paid like monthly memberships to be able to shoot there, and then they started doing weddings later on. But yeah, it's been around for a long time.
We try to sell it like a maternity
So
album.
for $1,000, how many hours was that? Was that full day
Oh, it was
coverage?
all
Full
day. Yeah,
day.
they had church prep, everything. Yeah,
But you know,
I wasn't keeping track of the time.
Yeah.
It was just like a
I feel like we had to make a good impression, and it was a good start.
yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Very good friends with that couple now.
Mhm.
They recommended us to their brother
That's
who
how it
got married
happens.
the following year,
That's
and
how it
then just
goes.
started.
Yes,
Did-
and a sweet 16
Did they want
as
the
well.
same price?
I don't remember actually. I think they paid a little more, though, a little bit more.
Yeah.
As they should, yeah.
Maybe 1,500.
I had that happen one time. I shot a brother's small wedding, and then years later, their other brother came, and he wanted the same price, and I was
Mhm.
like, "I'm
No.
sorry,
Yeah.
man. Like that's not possible."
It's been
Well,
like
how big was this
no.
album?
It was the biggest.
It was pretty
album.
big, yeah. It was the big. It was like
You
the
guys
biggest.
made no money on that thing.
No. We made no money. Like looking back now, we made
Yeah,
zero money
yeah,
on this.
Yeah,
on
it's
this
awesome. I
wedding
mean,
experience.
we all
It was
start like
But you
that.
know, we like. I remember coming home from that wedding and saying two things. One, I hate my cameras because I was shooting with like Sony A100 or whatever
Yeah.
the first A models, and they sucked. And then two, I want to quit my job because I love, like, I
Well,
absolutely
Aw.
love this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was there that it was like, you know,
So
for the
much
next
fun.
2 years, just
Hustle.
trying to figure out how I can leave.
But Andrea, how did you feel about after that first wedding?
It was fun, you know, getting to meet new people and getting involved in all this, you know, this big event in their lives. It was nice.
Mhm.
You know, it was really nice. And
But did you shoot that day, or were you strictly photo booth operator?
I was photo booth, and then I kind of like grabbed the camera and did like some party shots and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is fun. You know, this is fun. He was the photographer. I wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She was like, "You're right, Richard. This Sony sucks."
I just set the
lying.
camera for her, and I was like, just
How
don't
to
touch
I-
anything. Just
How do I
shoot.
use
Click.
this?
Yeah.
When did you
Yeah.
start shooting them?
He brought me to the next wedding, so I guess
Oh.
I did a good job.
The next wedding, she
Uh,
did the photo booth also.
Yes.
And then the third wedding, she was like just shooting, like don't touch the settings,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
just shoot, don't touch the settings until like I think like like a few months later or something. Like I just left her at bride prep, and
Mhm.
I left to groom prep, and I was like, here, you just cover this.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Listen, I have to
gosh.
be honest. It was a good long time until I actually learned how to use like the whole aperture and stuff. I
Right,
remember
right.
driving with Richard, and I'm like, what is the aperture again? Can you
Yeah.
explain that to me? And I used to not like being in this like group meetups because they were talking about all these technical
The
things
technical, yeah.
and all the lighting and the flash and what do you shoot with and what's your camera? What's your lens? And I'm like, I don't know. Like honestly, like I'm just trying to do like the
Just
best
capture
I
the moment.
can,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
capture the moment, and apparently I did a good job. I'm still in.
She's still employed.
You know, Karis was the same thing. She was just tagging along for the first 4 years, and the statute of limitations are over at this point, right? So we can speak freely, right? But like she didn't really get into it until like 2014. Like she was always by my side since day one, but she didn't start like directing, like really enjoying this process until like 2014, 4 years in. You know, I was like, whoa, this is pretty nice, not bad.
I feel the same way. I think it was
Yeah.
the same for me. the
I
same
didn't.
experience.
I don't think I enjoyed it.
Gotta be closer, babe.
Yeah, I don't think I enjoyed it because I was like, this is like manual labor. It's like long hours. I'm on my feet. I'm hungry. Like,
And
It's
now
a lot
here
of
you
work.
are doing it by yourself.
yeah.
I think she enjoys it better this way.
That's what it was. It wasn't she didn't enjoy the job. She did enjoy doing it with you. But
That is true. That's probably what
Secret
it
is
is.
out.
Secret is out.
And at the beginning, you were like, you're at these weddings and stuff, and of course you're hungry and you don't know how to act. Should I go? Should I eat? Should I do this? Should I not? Should I be
Yeah.
stiff here standing? So, it's just
Yeah.
Starve yourself.
Yep.
tell us about the transition into full time. That was a big thing. I know when we became friends on Facebook and seeing you like take your leap, and you've always been very open about your journey. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so like when people ask me this, it's like I kind of tread lightly because some of the things that I did are not things that I would recommend for some people to do now. Luckily, like, going back, right? So, like in 2010, I photographed our first wedding. From 2010 to 2012, I was still working at my 9 to 5. I used to work in like a software engineering company. That's what I went to school for. And I just started hating my job more and loving the photography more. And it took 2 years for me to like figure out, like, to actually quit my job. But before I did that, I knew that we wanted to buy a house. Like, I wanted to move out of our small apartment with my parents and buy a house. And I wasn't going to be able to do that working as a photographer
A little
to
bit
start.
harder. Yeah, a little bit harder.
Yeah.
So I worked those 2 years. I bought my house with the income from my actual job, and then I quit. So I bought the house in August and I quit in September of 2012. And we had several weddings booked. Like, I had 5 weddings booked that year of 2012. Then I had like 8 weddings booked for
The following year?
for the following year.
Mhm.
But I didn't know anything about how to structure my payments. I had no idea, I took like the biggest risk, right? And I remember quitting my job, doing those weddings like September, October, November, and then being like, oh shit, like,
What am I gonna
where's
do?
the rest of the money? Like, what's happening? So yes, it was like a very big risk that I took. Luckily, like, we had my parents were living downstairs in like the first apartment. Andrea was at the time working at Mac, which she'll dive into that. But we had like that income to kind of protect us.
Like a
And
pillow.
I used to just say, like, look, as long as I could pay for my mortgage, everything else, whatever happens, and we'll figure it out as the time comes.
Mhm.
That's pretty much.
That's what I tell people all the time. Like, what's the worst thing? You have to go back and get a part-time or full-time. Like, you're better off chasing the goal and your dream.
Right.
Yeah, and we were young. Like, we were relatively young, right? Like,
Yeah, we
Oh.
were very young.
22, 23 or something like that.
Yeah.
So we had no kids, 20s. My parents lived downstairs. Andrea was working at Mac, which was paying really well. I had like a cushion from my job that I saved. And so I was like, you know what? If I don't do it now, then that's it.
What did your parents say when you told them, I'm leaving my job?
I want to be an artist.
Well,
You have to remember, these are Hispanic fans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we know.
That's why I'm asking.
these are like old school Cuban.
Like, you're doing what?
So my dad was very supportive. I mean, both my parents were very supportive. My mom didn't understand like that I went to school for 5 years. I graduated with a degree, and now I was just gonna it was gonna go to waste.
Take
She
pictures.
just didn't understand that. Honestly, I still think today they still think that we don't work. Like, like, I have phone calls, I have this and that, and they don't understand that. Like, So, but it's okay. Like, we've.
My parents were the same way too. They were like, yo, and actually her parents, all 4 parents are like, yo, you got a kid coming, you got a kid on the way, and you're gonna go chase this dream.
Winter's coming.
You're gonna
We
chase this
discussed
dream.
this.
You're gonna chase your dreams. You got $500 in your bank account. What are you thinking, right? But we had to make it work. We had no other choice. But
That's
to
the
make it
best
work.
way to make it work. When you have that pressure that you can't fail.
Yeah.
I feel like without that, you kind of lose your hustle. Some of that hustle.
Yeah, I had a very similar journey as these two here. Like when I quit my job at the chicken factory, like I think I had 3 weddings on the books. And that was it. I had nothing for the following year. I was
my.
like,
Yeah.
this has got to work,
Yeah.
But what
Both of you guys are reckless.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
I mean,
reckless.
looking back now, it was very reckless. Very, very reckless.
But Karis was working at the other chicken place, so like we had her income.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wait, it was a separate chicken company?
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you
I
know
thought
that we
guys
both?
worked-
We
No,
don't know.
no, I thought it was the same chicken
No.
company.
Oh. I was designing side. I was designing at a chicken
You
franchise.
would design the eggs, the logos on the eggs.
Yeah, look, menus, all
Yeah,
the design.
the
part.
menus and the advertisements and the menu, like Yeah.
anything and everything.
So
that
everyone here
goes
has a
into-
chicken story except for us. Like,
Yeah.
You will. You will soon.
Oh, for those of you guys who don't know, Richard, he's the proud, father of
Chicken
about
dads.
70 chickens, I think. I think he's
No,
a
we brought the
70
number
plus.
down. They're like 50 now. I think.
Oh, man.
well, 70,
so
50,
there's a lot of
it's about
chicken
the
in the
same.
freezer.
Yeah.
Aw, poor chicken.
Wait, what? Because you harvested them, or because the nature got them?
Yeah, we had some nature issues. We had some hungry children.
What? Oh, the children.
Some hungry children issues.
Hungry children issues. We have a large family. We gotta feed the kids.
You gotta feed them.
Yeah. But we had Karis's income for about 6 months, and then once we got, because the thing is, remember, it took me 6 months to go from 3 to 43, right? And she was like, "Oh, I don't need to like Karis. Ben is in his."
Because you have to remember, I was working full time, and then I was shooting with him on
yeah.
weekends.
Yeah, so that's 2
And I was,
full-time jobs.
yeah, helping him edit because he's not good at Photoshop. So I have to use.
We know.
In the beginning, we used Photoshop to edit. So I'm like, why am I?
Why am I here?
Why am I
Hashtag. Why am I here? So after 6 months, she quit her job and then she joined me. But did you guys quit together or
No.
No.
How long before you joined him full time?
He quit in 2012. I quit in 2015.
Yeah,
Wow.
so 3 years later,
years.
yeah.
3
She
years.
tried to quit in
That's close to
2014, but they didn't let her.
Oh.
So like
No, I mean,
they were
I
very
was a good
accommodating.
employee.
They sweetened the deal.
Yes, they
Yeah.
actually let me make my own schedule.
Yeah, that helps. That helps a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
And it was
Yes.
retail, so Mac like retail, so the hours like were weekends and it was in the airport too, so I had to drive her like at 4 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So we had weddings on the weekends, and then we were like, Andrea, you need to like, that's it. We need to cut this. And we luckily when I quit, we had 3 weddings, and the following year we had 8. Then we didn't have like a crazy increase like Ben. It was like 3,
Gradual.
8,
Yeah, yeah.
15, 18, 20, 25. Then eventually we got to like the 40 mark. So, but when we were like in the 15, like in the 20s, that's when I told Andrea, I was like, I need help. Like.
But I actually think that it was harder for you to let me quit because
Yes.
Yeah.
it was that safe.
That
Yeah.
buffer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
buffer,
buffer,
that
that cushion's
safeness.
gone.
When did the first kid come? What year?
2018.
Oh, so this is way after you guys were
Yeah.
already full time for like
Yes.
a couple years.
Yeah, so 2015, Andrea quit her job. We got our studio
And we got married.
and we got married.
Nice. Big year.
Big
What year
year.
was this?
2015.
And when you started offering makeup too.
Yes, because that's how I started working at Mac. Because I went while he was pursuing his dream and a business. Then I went to makeup school, and right after I finished makeup school, I immediately got the job at Mac Cosmetics, and I stayed with them for 5 years until finally quit. And it was after we got our studio in Bayonne. That's when we decided, okay,
You guys had a
it's time.
physical studio that was like not attached to the home, right?
We did, yes.
Oh my goodness.
We
It-
had the
it was
studio.
pretty big, that studio. I
Yeah,
remember going there.
it was nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
we loved it there because our house was like our apartment wasn't that big, and we were having clients like come to our apartment with the cat running across the
albums.
coffee table with the albums. We're like, no, this isn't working. So we it's so crazy how the studio happened because we were talking about like, oh, we wanted a studio, and then Andrea's like, oh, but let's wait till after the wedding, whatever. And then one day, like just driving back home from the gym, I see like a for lease sign in this like a place that was like only 6 blocks from our house. And I called, and the guy was like, oh, we've been trying to rent this place for the longest time, but there was like a chiropractor on the bottom, so they didn't want to have like a daycare or something that's very loud. And like he gave us an amazing deal, and I told him, look, like we don't know, like he wanted us to sign the lease, and I told him, look, we don't know if this is gonna work or not. Are you willing to put like some clause in there that says like, can we get out if
Earlier,
Yeah. And he did. He was like, if he wrote like, oh, if in 30 days, like as long as I get a 30-day notice, you can get out clean,
Oh wow.
So we took it, and we were there from 2015 to we were there for 8 years, right?
Wow.
Till
Well,
after
to
the
2000,
pandemic.
yeah, 2000. When was the pandemic? I don't remember.
2020.
2021.
2021. We left the studio. Yeah,
Is
5,
it
6 years?
You guys left because you're shooting now at home?
We left because one, we moved out of Bayonne, so we moved an hour away from Bayonne. Two, we were actually there for the entire pandemic, which actually that saved us a little bit because we did do a lot of family photo shoots there in the studio. But it just didn't make sense. Like we were driving an hour to go to the studio to do like a 45-minute session, to drive an hour back.
That
Clients
sucks.
were driving an hour to get to the studio because Bayonne is not that easy to get to begin with. So we were like, you know what? I think that's it. Now,
Yeah. I think the
Time.
brick and mortar places, I think a lot of folks who had brick and mortar places, they just left them during the pandemic. I think you guys did too.
No, we held on to it after.
But no, during the pandemic, you guys let it go. No?
We let it go last
After.
winter.
yeah.
After, but we were never there.
Yeah.
But the rent was so cheap, so we were like, we'll hold on to it, see what happens, and then
No one
everyone
wanted to
wanted
meet.
Yeah, they just want to go on Zoom.
No one
so
wanted to see our faces.
yeah,
in
we were
person.
doing the photo shoots in the studio, but we were no longer meeting with clients in the studio anymore. We used to meet with people physically.
Mhm.
I mean, people would drive like an hour to come do like a a consult. But then once the pandemic hit, we were just doing everything on Zoom or video.
We built this space that we're recording right now for those meetings because we didn't want to have strangers in the house. So we're like, let's put them outside in the she shed, right? And after we built it, we've had very few wedding meetings in here. Actually, I would say about 99.99999, actually almost 100% in the last 2 years. All the meetings are Zoom.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
mine's
Wait,
Well, it worked
no
out
one
for the
comes
podcast.
No
to
one
you guys
for an initial
Right.
meeting.
Yeah, 'cause
They don't
like,
come. They don't come in
I
person.
feel like the two of us were like,
You guys like in person?
yeah,
I love in
we-
person.
We were like pretty adamant
Yeah.
of having in-person consultations because the booking percentages
it's
were
higher.
way higher.
Yes.
You know,
And I can show albums. I can show prints. I can show all kinds
it
of
was
stuff.
it was easier to sell, and then the Zoom just made everything more convenient
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yeah, at that point we were also bless you. We were also doing a lot of albums when we had the studio. People were meeting, they were choosing stuff. It was nice.
So when did you guys transition from weddings to start offering other things like newborns, family?
Since the beginning, since the very beginning, because we realized that, there was more after weddings, not just weddings, and then our clients started having babies and all their events that
They booked us for. We actually
Yes.
when we started, I remember doing like a lot like on the Facebook groups or certain like workshops. People were like, "Oh, stick to one thing, learn that." Like you would hear like how wedding photographers hated newborn photography and said like, "I can't do this," or newborn photographers say, "I don't have the patience for brides." And like we never really we didn't do this on purpose. It kind of just fell this way, like it just happened because we just really fell in love with our clients, and like we had like a really close personal connection with them where they just felt that they needed to share with us like, oh, we're having a baby, can you photograph us, or like we're doing family portraits. So and we would just say yes to everything. When we started doing newborns, we had no idea how to photograph newborns. We didn't even have a newborn, obviously.
Oh my god.
So we like again went back to online courses, workshops, learned as much about
you should-
newborns.
How were your first ones? Your first
And
couple
then
newborns?
we did 5 free newborns, and we just said like, look, we just need to photograph your newborn. Obviously, like we learned like stuff like precautions because you're dealing with a brand new baby. It's usually like 7 days old, right? So we just tried to be as safe as possible. I mean, I say like the parents were there, but I mean, Andrea, she wasn't a mom at the time, but I feel like she was always like very good with.
I think the fact that
kids.
we were kind of like a couple, and I have like the women's side of it, like they actually
The woman's
mom,
touch.
Yeah.
the mom really felt comfortable with that, and I remember doing newborn sessions at my apartment.
Yeah,
I call them like my single time apartment. And it's crazy, but we actually like started off really, really good with all their portraits photography when we started with our studio. I think 2015 was really
that's
like
when
a
it
time
really
that
kicked off.
we were like, because we had the space and we started
And there we
advertising
went-
it more.
We went all into like newborn photography. We got like everything that we needed to offer like full out newborn sessions.
Smash the cakes.
Yeah.
family
Are those real
portraits.
cakes, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do the parents provide it, or you have it in?
No,
this?
parents
They
provide
rang
it.
all
Yeah.
the props.
Oh my
Mhm.
goodness!
We're-
Did the Molinas ever do newborns?
Newborns?
Maybe
no,
once or twice.
like once or twice, but not like in the wrap them in a cocoon type of way.
Yeah,
It's always been more like
sleeping, you know,
lifestyle ish.
Yeah.
But and we've done plenty of
cake
smash
smashes,
cakes.
yeah.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah.
But
I tried my hand at newborn. Have I ever? I never showed you that portfolio. Oh, it was terrible. Babies in baskets and stuff. It was
oh my,
so bad.
the name of the brand, Babies
Yeah,
and
I
Baskets.
was gonna say,
Babies
is that the name of the
Baskets.
business?
Babies in baskets. And I remember I was doing selective coloring. Oh, it was so bad.
Oh boy.
And-
I think Aiden.
Oh, you have some of your kids?
Oh yeah, because we started the business the same time we were starting a family.
I
So
think we have Aiden in like
Baskets.
really weird
weird ass baskets.
poses.
You got to show those at his wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so bad.
Looks like a robin's nest. Like a robin's nest.
So bad.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I remember, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any money to pay for courses and things like that, right? So I was trying to figure all this stuff on my own. So I made hammocks with, I got some PVC pipe from Home Depot, and I built myself with the joints and stuff. I made a little frame, and I would hang the hammock in there.
And put the baby in there.
Wait,
I hope you were like,
Wait.
I hope there was a hand touching the baby.
There was a hand on the bottom, but the hand had to be moved away for a split second, right? Between each shutter
No,
click.
you're supposed to do that in Photoshop.
Photoshop
Ben,
it, Ben.
but
I didn't know how to do
Oh my
Photoshop.
So that
The
got
safety of the
discovered
baby
way
comes first.
later. It's like,
I was the.
you
I was,
know, it's like actual hands under there.
I was the
Jackie
Jackie
Chan the
Chan.
hammock. I was like, there's no way he did this the right
No,
way.
everything was
Oh my
real. I was
God.
like the Jackie
That's
Chan. I was the
no,
Jackie
that's
Chan of
like-
newborn
that's
photography.
baby
You're
sessions.
stunts.
Baby sessions took like 10 hours.
Baby stunts.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
because
kids would
you-
cry, right? So I read, listen, guys, I read somewhere back then on Google that, all right, in order for this to work, the room. Listen. So you're crying. She's Linda. Linda.
Was it just your kid you put in the hammock, or you put
She
other
just
kids in the
I put
hammock?
everybody's kids in the hammock.
Our kid didn't go to the hammock.
No, he didn't want to risk his kids.
I'm not
Just
gonna
risk
risk,
everyone else's.
It's liability, man.
I'm not gonna risk my kid in this hammock. So,
God.
so listen, right? So I read it on Google around that time that in order to have a successful newborn session, the room has to be very, very warm. The kid has to eat a lot. And there's three things. Oh, we have to catch the kid like when they're sleepy, right? So
It was like, room was like 100 degrees.
Sauna.
100 degrees.
He gave him some alcohol.
I'm like-
and then
Put them to sleep. Here's some old fashioned to go to sleep.
You gave him that bottle you just had.
yo,
You
the
walking
mom and
around
dad were
with
like
it.
sweating. It's like, how long is this
all
session gonna be?
I'm not gonna lie. Like our first newborns, like we would finish a newborn session. Andrea would and I would lay down in the couch in the studio and be like, we just felt like we did a 16-hour wedding. day.
Oh my god.
And we were very
God.
close to quitting newborns
Yeah,
because we would
we-
just get so exhausted. Like,
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, it was just a lot, and like we were still learning too. So just diving into, I feel like newborns, it's the 90% is the energy of the photographer and the parents. And if the photographer's nervous, the parents are nervous. That energy flows into the baby, and forget it. You're screwed.
Yeah.
How long did your sessions when you started? How long were they?
Oh, they were
Like
long.
4 to 6 hours?
6
Yo.
hours for sure.
How long
Now
are they
we're
now?
2,
No,
Yeah.
now
But you guys know
the
what you're
doing
shorter-
now.
The
You guys-
shortest 2, the longest 4.
4, yeah.
Yo, I once had these twins. I was there in that house for like 10 hours because one
These
would sleep and
twins.
the other one's not asleep, right? So we would have to wait it out.
Well,
On,
I was
on
like, yo,
hammocks?
diaper change.
I'd be like, yo, turn up the heat.
Hotter.
It's not hot enough. You gotta make these kids sleep.
Give them some melatonin, knock them out.
They're like roasting right there. Poor babies.
Oh my gosh.
Turn
You
up the
guys have
heat.
done twins before, right?
Well,
I
first
mean, other
off,
than your own.
we
But like,
we did twins before we have our own twins.
yeah,
And
my
that
gosh.
session was amazing.
it was pretty good.
It
Yeah,
was super good. It was in Miami actually.
yeah. That couple, we actually this couple. We did their engagement, their wedding,
no,
their
you forgot.
maternity.
Their brothers'
Oh
wedding.
yeah, brother's wedding, engagement, their wedding, their maternity, then their twins newborn, and just continued growing like that. And that's the case usually with most of our clients. Like we do like.
They
I'd say
trust
like
you.
80% of our clients, 85%, it's like that.
Yeah, they don't trust us to
beautiful
do the
thing.
hammock photos anymore. I remember. I'll tell you one more story, right? So I remember I had the hammock. I brought the hammock because it's PVC pipe, so I just put it in a duffel bag and I just go, right? And I remember
You had to build it when you got there.
I had to build it when I got there.
There's
Sounds so messed up,
there's
man.
no way I'm letting you build a PVC in my house and put my
PVC
kid
pipe.
in it. No
I'm like,
way.
Are you a plumber?
It was ghetto
Who are
looking.
you?
And I remember I had a little portable futon that I would put under now because I was like, all right, just in case the baby falls and the hand's not there, I have a little portable futon underneath the thing. And the grandma's like, well, what if the baby falls? I was like, it's okay if the baby falls. The grandma's like, no, it's not okay.
What? Who said that? You said that?
Yeah, I was like, it's okay. I got the futon here. Grandma's like, no, it's
Oh
not
my
okay.
Well,
In that moment, your newborn business ended.
Yeah, I think that was the last
Yeah, no,
newborn
no.
hammock baby basket photo I ever
I
took
mean,
in
if
my
you would have
career.
kept on, you would have got sued at some point. Some type of lawsuit.
Well, I didn't know there was a hand there, But
there should
now I
always
know.
be a hand touching the baby at all times, especially in shots
So
like
even
that.
the ones that they're propped up on their chins and stuff,
yeah,
is a
all
hand
the
there.
time. There's a hand touch, like holding the what do you call it?
arms.
The
You know what I
elbows
used to
and
do?
then holding the head. There's
And
always a
don't,
hand.
don't judge me on this, okay? So I used to have a beanbag where I would put the baby, but if the baby's not in position, I have a blanket too over the beanbag, and I would have a hand like
You
holding
can
up the
do that
baby.
too.
But here's the thing: you'd see all the fingers.
Like a puppet.
You see the nail sticking through.
You turn the baby into a puppet.
You see the fingers coming through the blanket.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I don't
Do
know
you
what
still
to
have
say,
these
Ben.
photos somewhere? Because I
I
need
do.
to see them. Please pull them up.
Here's another one.
Oh my God, he's dying.
So I was thinking.
Yes, he is.
I'm gonna pee myself.
Okay. Cut Ben's mic.
Mute.
So listen. This is so funny. So this is so funny. Listen. So
Red-
I
red
remember.
light
So I was like, you know what? If everything's white, the background's white, we won't see what's on the screen.
Crying. He's crying.
He's like crying.
So what I did was I did that. So I get a white blanket. I threw it over the dad.
You turn into a ghost.
It was the dumbest photo. It was the dumbest photo I ever took. I was like, I'll fix it.
Oh my god, you literally have to find these
I'll
photos and
fix,
send them
I'll
to
fix it
us.
in post.
I
said,
think you should make an Instagram
Oh
account
my God,
just
it was
for
so
this.
bad. I said I'll fix that post. I was like, it's all white. I could just make everything white. And she,
Did you fix these afterwards, Karis? Were you the one photoshopping these photos?
I think you did the white and you did the black ones too.
yeah, I was like, just in case the white doesn't. So I threw a black blanket over there.
Blacking out of like black backdrop.
Oh
And
my
you,
god.
like in all this time, you didn't think about what are they thinking about me right now at this moment?
So I have a picture of that sitting on the
Hold
couch.
the baby.
Magic
I'm
show.
paying this person to take pictures of my
300
newborn
bucks.
baby.
300 bucks.
This is
a lot, man.
how not to do a newborn session.
For that quality, yes.
If
I
you
know.
guys want a newborn session, don't go to Ben Lau.
Oh,
Go to
man,
Richard
I'm
and
sorry.
Andrea.
I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
please.
No, but guys, that was 10 years ago. I know better now, but oh my God, it was the worst because I have a picture of the dad. I had the foresight to get some BTS of this. So I have dad sitting on the couch with a white blanket draped over him, holding the camera.
Oh,
Couldn't even breathe.
you know, the pass out with 100 degrees. He has a blanket over him.
He's probably like, you got the shot? You got the shot? You're like cousin it.
I'm crying.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find this photo. It's so funny.
So that's what we go back to. Stick to what you know.
I mean,
If you're good at what you do all kinds of
You
things.
gotta, you know what? You gotta find your lane and stay in it.
Yes.
You know.
But
Newborn
Richard and Andrea
photography-
are good at all the lanes.
Our very
Thank
first
you.
newborn sessions were not that good, but they
yeah.
weren't that bad
Oh.
either. I mean, that's another level
But
of.
we were also like trying to figure things out and like what things to buy, what bin bag to get.
You know what
like,
helped with us? Like we since the very beginning we said like we wanted our newborn photography to be like simple and timeless. Like I admire. I always find myself looking on Instagram like those those newborn photographers that do like these beautiful sets and
Yeah.
everything. And I love looking at it, but one, it's like for me, it's just too much. Like I don't have the creativity in my brain or the time to think about the setup. And two, like I just want it to look like there's no time to this picture. This newborn picture, you could look at it in 20 years, and there's nothing that says like this was taken at this time. You know, it's
Yeah.
like very timeless. Of course, like we do, like parents do come to us with ideas, like Pinterest boards and stuff, and we always try to deliver. But at the end of the day, like we do what we know how to do and what we have perfected, and then we try to go out a little bit of our
Experiment.
comfort zone and experiment.
Yeah, but if you guys ever need a experienced poster baby,
Oh, Andrea
You can
does
give me a
actually.
call.
She's
Yeah.
done that several times for other photographers. She'll go and do everything, and you just shoot it.
yeah.
I could have used you 10 years ago. 12
Yeah,
years ago.
could have.
Yeah.
Oh, 10 years. That was a nice experience. Today.
Oh my god.
Did you get more experience after having your own, or do you kind of learn as you went
No, I
beforehand?
learned as
It
I
did get
go.
easier though.
I used to have a baby doll that I used to post
Oh,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot,
yeah.
and then
Smart.
every time that I had babies coming in, I just kind of like I learned how to take my time and to not let people looking over me
Mhm.
kind of like
Get nervous.
affect
Yeah.
affect my work. And I think that helped me a lot working at Mac like that, because you have the eyes looking at you like what
Mhm.
you're doing, and that helped me develop that, like just to relax. And
How do you guys
That's
kind
cool.
of teach your clients about, like, we're not just here from your engagement wedding, we also do all these other aspects of your life?
like Richard mentioned before, we try to get very personal with our clients, and we also post a lot of things, of all the things that we do. So let's say, like, when we are photographing our engagement session, the couple is like, "Oh, I saw this baby portrait that you photographed last week," or, "Oh, the family portraits for Christmas, they're so cute." And like we try to put the thing out, everything out there, so people, like, actually our clients know that, like, look, you
We're
can
not
give me a
just-
call after.
Yeah, that we're just not their wedding. Like we've had clients tell us like during their engagement, like, "Oh, I can't wait to have a baby." I'm like, "You didn't even get married yet." Like,
Yes.
So and then so I feel like just Andrea does a really good job with the social media, posting like a variety of like everything from from portraits to weddings to newborns. And then also when we do have a large amount of clients that we've done everything from engagements to like their third child.
Mhm.
So we always make it a point to share, all those images, maybe sometimes create like reels or collages with like one of each event of their life. And I just feel like just putting that out there more, people can relate. And
Yeah, and throughout the years, we had so much luck and finding these clients that stick with us like for years,
Mhm.
and
the
now they're family to us,
Yep.
and that's beautiful.
Awesome.
So the other thing that I like to, that especially with husband and wife teams and stuff, like, is there, because you mentioned that Andrea does a lot of the social media. Is there any overlap in your duties as a husband and wife team? Do you guys have your lane and you stay in it? Like, how's that?
How's that?
Am I
look,
about
guys?
to start a counseling session,
No,
a therapy session right
I
now?
think we're pretty good. I mean, it was never. I mean, it's never perfect, right? We're always learning and stuff. I mean, in the very beginning, Andrea would get very upset at me of how like I asked her to do things or like
Still,
I'm just gonna end it right there. We're gonna close that, open the lid up a little bit,
don't
close it.
open the box.
That's one thing
Just smell it.
everyone has agreed on between us, the Laos, you guys,
Even
the
the cruises.
cruises.
Yeah,
The wives don't like being told what to do.
but I feel like
I mean, yeah, we like to we want directions, but the delivery.
okay, we'll end it there because this is gonna open a whole other can of worms.
That, the
This is what gets us listeners,
Expand what
guys.
you meant.
Yeah. So, shoot, I lost my train of
Continue.
thought. Okay, so basically, like now, like we having our own kids and like just trying to figure out how to manage our time better. We don't really overlap. Like Andrea, she's in charge of dealing with the whole album design process, everything there. She's in charge of all the social media, like all the reels, everything. Andrea does that. I do all of the, client stuff, and then all of the culling and editing.
Mhm.
And then
Pretty much,
Yeah.
I get the clients. He sells.
yeah, Andrea
Delivers.
does the marketing. I do the actual booking, and then the post processing, and we both shoot.
Mhm.
And
Do
the
you
third-
you don't edit anymore, Andrea? You used to edit too, right?
I used to edit.
Nice.
But now with 3 children,
Mhm.
I
no,
can't
it
even.
doesn't get
She
hard.
edits like now, for instance, October, right? The fall is always our busiest time. So like, if I start seeing that I'm running late on deliveries, then
She'll hop in.
she'll pop in
After,
and
yeah.
edit.
Do you guys do consultations together?
No, I usually do all the consultations unless a client requests to do like a video consult
Yeah, yeah.
to meet us in person. Then I try to bring Andrea in. But we're very open with our clients too. Like, I tell them like, hey, Andrea can't make it right now. She's putting one of the kids to sleep or
Mhm.
something, and they understand.
Yeah.
Do they expect her to be there when you're there?
No. And same thing for engagements too. Like sometimes I go do the engagement sessions by myself. Sometimes Andrea
Oh.
comes.
Mhm.
Most of the time I do the consults by myself. But I feel like when people already reach out to us, they already have seen us online or social media, even our Instagram too. Like we share personal stuff on our Instagram, not just
Mhm.
photography stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they already know, like, what's going on probably in our life. So
Yeah. I think it's helped also, even though we've had this conversation about like the name of the business, when you're just Richard B. Flores, it's kind of like you've already set the expectation that like Richard's the guy, Andrea will come when she can, but there's not like, oh, Andrea's supposed to be here all the time. It's like they
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
who they're
they
dealing
expect
with.
to see her all
some
the
point,
time.
yeah.
But like I think Moses spoke about this too, right? In one of the podcasts,
Mhm.
that it's just not worth changing the name at this point.
Mhm.
I wish I could change it. I wish I could incorporate Andrea into it somehow, but we've been in
Right,
business
yep.
for 13 years, right?
Mhm.
So it's like our brand, everything is everywhere.
Yeah. And if she decides she wants to do like an Andreas Flores photography, like a hey Andrea.
Andrea.
It's a very easy detachment.
Uh-huh.
It's not
That's
Richard
the goal.
anymore.
That's the goal for all the wives.
Yeah.
Easy
That's what I told Jen.
detachment.
She
Yes,
could just
Easy
remove the R.
detachment. Yes. Yes.
But we actually we loved wedding. We loved what we did. We got very overwhelmed with what we did.
hmm
We started thinking we should do other things. Then with our kids and stuff, just life got crazy. And now we really love what we do because going out to do weddings is like our time to like, okay, we don't have to yell at anybody. We don't have to like put anyone in time out. Like, it's like our time to kind of refresh. So like
Yeah,
we go to
yeah.
weddings, and honestly, like sometimes I feel like we could shoot our
break.
weddings with our eyes
It's-
closed,
it's-
or
it's
like
your break.
do a session.
Yeah.
Like so.
So how was that transition? Because you had your son, Julian, in 2018.
Mhm.
How was that process for you guys running the business and having one?
That was actually a beautiful experience because, like, we used to live in Bayonne. We had a 2-family house. My in-laws were downstairs, so anytime that we had to go away for a wedding or a shoot or a meeting, my in-laws were there. So great. But most of the time, we brought Julian with us
to
the-
weddings?
to the studio.
to the
Yeah.
studio,
Oh, okay.
and he used to play there. It was a great, setup.
We even had him there sometimes for meetings, like consults, and like, I mean, Julian's he's
Again, depends on
he's
the
different.
client.
But like, depending on the client, like the client will walk in, Julian will go running to them. It was nice. I
Yeah.
feel like if the client didn't like that, then
weren't for
it
you.
wasn't
Yeah.
for
It
us.
wasn't
If you don't,
Yeah.
if you don't like Julian, then you're not my client.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like,
Exactly.
like
For
if
real.
Ellie doesn't like you, I can't. Sorry.
When we had the twins there, it got challenging. Well, it got challenging when we moved, which was like another leap of faith because we were like, okay, how how we're gonna do this? But you know what? We'll just figure it out. We'll just make things will just happen, the way they're supposed to happen or however God wants it to happen. And then we got the twins, and then we're like, oh shoot, now what? How this is
that was
gonna
a
be
change.
tough.
That's how it changed because
Yeah.
we from 1 we jumped to 3,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and just personally, for me, just to write a simple email took me like 2 months, like just to the same person, trying to actually make
To finish the email.
do it.
Oh,
And I was
God.
like,
That's nuts.
my brain was just not functioning.
Mhm.
It was and then everything came after it. The taking care of a toddler, a 3-year-old, and
and twin
twins.
girls, and the pandemic too.
Mm-hmm.
The girls came during the pandemic, right?
Yeah,
2021. So it was like right after.
yeah.
That was a weird time for you guys. I remember seeing your video. You weren't allowed to be in the delivery room.
Yeah, no.
No, because we had COVID.
Yeah.
And in December 2019,
2020.
2020.
2020, yeah. And then
2020,
the girls
and-
came January
Oh my god.
2021.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
went for
yeah.
a completely different thing, and I had COVID, unfortunately. And while I was in the hospital, on the third day that I was supposed to come back home, the girls decided to come in,
Crazy.
and unfortunately, they
And
stayed.
the hospital changed at 8 a.m. that morning. The doctor calls me saying, "We're taking these babies out today. You'll be able to come." And then 20 minutes later, calls me back the nurse, the managing nurse, saying, "Oh, the hospital just changed the rules. You can't come." So I had to do
Yes.
the whole delivery happened. Like, luckily the anesthesiologist like FaceTimed me, and he was there, and like I did the whole thing on.
Yeah,
That's
we came out
wild.
in the news and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys were on the news?
Yeah. Our whole video, our whole like behind the scene
Everyone
video
was
and
like,
stuff.
"Oh, you guys should." I would have just like ran into the hospital and like I was like, "I'm not gonna get arrested." Like,
Yeah.
you know what? Like at the
still
end of
have
the
my
day,
dream.
Andrea was healthy. The babies
Right,
were
babies
healthy.
are
You know,
healthy.
but it was crazy.
I'm just getting the visual that so that in the anesthesiologist just took the face.
He was FaceTiming me, and I remember the phone dropped while
No, it
the
was
phone
a
dropped, and the
C-section.
Facetime call.
Oh, it was a
fell.
C-section.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was a C-section,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. I was like, the
It's like the first time in the
FaceTime just okay.
No, the phone dropped. FaceTime call like disconnected, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" Like I started freaking out, and then all of a sudden he called me back, and he's like, "Okay, we're good, all right." And then
That's nice.
Oh.
Yeah, that,
Did you get
that
recorded?
was a nice thing
Did I
to
what?
do.
Did you record it?
Yes,
Yeah, everything's
that,
recorded,
that
yeah.
recording was with the news.
See, they
took
were
it.
on the news for a special moment, not for throwing cats in the air.
Well, that wasn't in the news. That was for Good Morning America. It's a little different. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the girls came, and it was just it was like an adjustment for sure. It still is an adjustment, but like every day is a challenge,
Of course.
and we just deal with it. Some people are like, "Oh, we're afraid to have kids but at the end of the day, you deal with it, you
find a
figure
way
it
to
Figure it
out,
out, man.
you know?
Figure it out.
Yep.
But
And it's very important to have like a support system,
Yes.
whether it's your family, your friends, your neighbors,
Mhm.
Each
it's
other.
like each other,
Yes.
obviously. That's why if we need to split up, if Julie needs to go to soccer practice or something, I know I can go
Yes.
do a session or whatever.
Yeah, and I did step back from the business a little, so but that also kind of like we had to decide to get help in the house too, so I could come in again and
Yep.
I would definitely do that.
Yeah, we're very
Yes,
lucky to
yes,
have help.
yes.
Like, I would hire somebody ASAP.
And that age is very
They're very needy.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
very
yeah.
hard. Yep. I think oh my gosh,
There's always, I feel like from Hispanic households, there's like this thing that's frowned upon for not taking care of your own kids and stuff like that. Every entrepreneur I've ever seen that has kids, they have someone helping them, like, or someone that they're
Yep.
in house.
Yep.
So this mentality is like flawed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
So
mean that's the
flawed.
old school thinking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that haunts me every time. I
Yeah.
have to go sit down in the office to do to post or do things on social media, and then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking I'm here sitting down posting on Instagram while my kid's being watched by another person.
Yeah, we feel guilty
You
all
know,
the time,
and it's like-
but
it's
you just
just
have
like-
to. You have to. I mean, I say to myself, like one of the things that makes me feel better is like, yes, we're home, we're working, we're basically locked in the office to be able to get things done, but we're still home and we can see the kids. We try to make an effort to see with them. We try to make an effort to be with them during most important moments, especially dinner time for us. Unfortunately, like if I would have been working my 9 to 5, which was never 9 to 5, I used to leave it like at 7. But what am I gonna do? Get home at 7 o'clock, be with my child for 45 minutes?
Nothing.
Right.
At least like here I can take. And now we try to manage our time a lot more. A lot
And you have the
better.
flexibility. Like if you're in the office at 10 a.m., something God forbid happens with the kid, you
of
can run out
course.
in a second
Yeah.
Run,
and
yep.
handle it.
But I will say though, it does get a little bit harder when the kids start having more events because
Activities, yeah.
Yeah, so you said one kid's in soccer, right? But the
Yeah,
other
he has soccer and other stuff like 4 days a week. So we're constantly having to like.
Yeah.
But the schedule, man, our calendar is like And I have friends that have more kids too, and they're living this, but the calendar is
Yeah, we only got 2, and
More
I-
kids than 3, huh?
yeah, we do have friends that have more
Yeah.
kids than 3.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
And one more.
How?
And
Where's
one more.
their sanity? Oh my god.
That was your mom.
Yeah, my mom had 5.
When when I met Jen, so Jen has siblings that are triplets.
Yeah.
So when I met Jen, they were like
Oh.
7, 8 years old. Her mother was like an Uber driver all day, like taking this one to a
Yes.
sleepover, taking this one to baseball practice, this one to buy books. Like it was nonstop all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, with Asian households, right? It's a little bit different because it's not unusual to have 3 generations in one house.
Mm-hmm.
That's not unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is. It is nowadays still.
What?
Who do you know that lives with their parents other than us?
Well, Benson for a little while.
No one. No one.
Benson for a little while.
Benson?
For a little while, yeah.
Well, that's no. That was not their permanent situation.
Yeah, but it's true too, because like you said, well, growing up, I think so. We lived with my grandmother. He had his grandmother for a little bit, and then as the generations went on, I think it's not
Even when
normal
I was growing
anymore.
up, my grandparents were always around.
Well, that was your parents.
I was actually raised by my grandparents.
I
Me
didn't
too.
live with my grandparents.
we did have one, like, it's not a regret, but like we kind of planned having our children around like the down
time.
season for weddings.
Mhm.
That's why all of our kids were born in January.
Yes.
But honestly, I kind of regret that because
Worked.
again, at the end of the day, we would have just figured it out, you know. And
Mhm.
sucks that our kids have our winter babies,
I-
right?
I
that
know
we
the
can't.
feeling.
But it's okay. We now what we do is we do like a half birthday, you know,
Yeah,
like in the
have it in the
summer we'll have like a
summer.
little party for
Yeah,
them in the
yeah,
backyard
yeah.
or something.
Our
Well,
first
they can
one,
have all their half birthdays in our pool.
our
Okay, let me repeat that, please.
It'll be Rose's half birthday too.
It's recorded.
It'll be
Okay,
Rose's
please,
half birthday
Ben.
too.
One
Carrie,
of my
can you send me this?
biggest childhood traumas is not being able to have like a picnic or like
Aw.
For your birthday?
because all my friends did. They invited me to their little picnic parties.
Yeah.
And
Listen.
then they
Oh
had,
my
they
Listen
had
to
ice
Sha-
cream cake. I couldn't get ice cream cake because it was cold outside.
No, you
They're
get
gonna
ice cream
cold
cake.
every year. I
You have ice cream
eat
cake.
Carvel cake.
When's
All
your
right,
birthday?
listen.
When's your birthday?
January 14th.
All right,
Oh, it's the
listen.
middle of our kids.
Same.
So January 14th, for this year's birthday, I'm going to bring an ice cream cake and a piñata.
I got hit in the head one time with a stick.
Yeah, it's
A
dangerous.
pinata, yeah. I was
I get-
walking
I
by
get
and
so
the
worried.
kid was
Yes,
blindfolded.
Yes.
Blah,
Yes.
blah.
We're gonna
Oh,
we're
wow.
gonna do a piñata, okay, for your birthday this
Oh
January,
my
okay?
We're
God.
hanging right here.
You know what we could do?
Yep, right with the
Instead
lighters.
of candy, we'll throw memory cards inside. Like all kinds of memory cards. You shake it, you just take all the memory cards.
That's gonna be
Dude, that's a
hella
lot of expensive.
What do you think you are? Millionaire? Billionaire?
How many albums I gotta sell, man?
This podcast is not making any money.
But yeah, I mean, like having help in the house has been one of our secrets to why we've been able to experience the success that we've had. You know, like if it weren't for Karis's parents, we wouldn't have what we have today. You know, because there were a lot of
I
weekends.
don't know how. Otherwise, how do other people do it? I'm like,
Mhm.
We think about that all the
Yeah.
time.
Always.
It's either like we hire help for the business or we hire help for the
Right,
house.
right, yep.
At the end of the day, like our house is like a business. You know, we have
Right.
somebody helping us and we have to run it that way.
Yep.
But I feel like our
Yep.
business, like if we're more involved and, you know, I don't know, we can do better.
yeah.
Yeah, you
definitely-
delegate.
definitely
You
need help,
delegate a lot of
Outsourcing.
things.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
So on top of kids, you guys also have a whole farm. How do you go
We're
about
trying.
Yeah,
that?
why? I don't understand. Like you're not like every time I see these reels and stuff, I'm like, Richard, you have that much time on your hands? Like you have 3 kids.
I wake up very early. Farmer, you know.
Tell us about your hobbies,
Oh my
Richard.
God.
Yes, exactly.
I have a lot of hobbies.
Richard's hobby.
I have a hobbyist at home too, so I know.
I mean, I have my
feels.
hobbies too, but they don't
We have-
involve 70 chickens.
Yeah, we have chickens, we have ducks, and that's it for now. Actually, we have a cat.
But you're trying to add more animals.
Yeah, I don't think
What's
the
on
town
what's
will
on the
allow
agenda
me.
for animals?
No, the
No.
town.
Goats.
I would like a goat though,
No.
or 2.
No.
What are you
They'll
gonna
walk
do with
around
goats?
and eat all
I
the
don't know,
poison
just-
ivy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they'll eat the poison.
And you
they
can
can
get
eat-
milk
they can
goat's
eat poison
milk too,
ivy?
right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that is telling me right now, but that's it.
What is
Yeah.
What
no?
about
No, no, no.
goat's
There's an-
milk?
There's
make
there's an
cheese?
animal that'll protect the it's a guardian livestock animal. Is it llamas or is it alpacas?
Oh, the alpacas protect livestock. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you should get an alpaca.
Definitely
then.
get an alpaca.
But alpacas. All right, 2 things.
Actually, I have a client who's like father-in-law is getting rid of his alpacas. He messaged me the other day. He's like, "Hey, you want the alpacas?" I'm like,
Yo, okay,
There's
listen.
gonna be an alpaca in your house
good.
tomorrow.
Look at the look.
Andrea.
If
With
for
the
those of you guys
teeth
who are
and the-
listening, for those of you guys
they're
who
pretty
are
ugly though, man. I don't know.
for those of you guys who are listening.
Ugly.
I think they're ugly.
So for those of you guys who are listening right now, Andrea just gave the dirtiest look to Richard right now. All right, so there's two things you got to know about alpacas. I don't know if you might know this already, right? But number one, you can't buy just one because they're herd animals, so you got to get at least 2 or 3. So ideally, it has to be 3, right? And then that's number one, all right? And number two,
There you go. So 3 of them.
What's that?
3 is the magical number that you have to
yeah,
get.
all right. So if you get like a purebred, nice fur, nice coat, and everything, that's about $2,000 a pop, right? However, if you
It's
get
not
like
bad.
yeah, that's not bad. However, if you
You
get the
need 3 of them.
rejects, right, the ones where the pattern is kind of a little goofy
off.
or a little off,
Big
right?
spread.
Those are $500
Eyes on the
each.
side.
The little cross-eyed, right? Those are
Wait, they're
$500.
So
more
give me
money
3
because
peasants.
they're
cheaper.
They're
than
cheaper.
Oh,
yours.
cheaper. They said 5,000.
No,
They're like-
500.
Oh,
Don't they
not
use
the
them for
purebred.
fur or what?
You can.
Yeah,
but
What do
yeah,
you use them
yeah.
for?
using as a pet.
Yeah, like wool. I think like.
so
Yeah,
you
you-
all know
you
you
could
know
bring
all
them to
this because
photo
you were
shoots.
researching for yourself.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
and yes, you could make.
So they are $500. Those
For the
animals?
rejects.
For like
Oh.
not the full bread.
Yeah, not the
We
pure
have-
Well,
brown.
they're
have
full
used
bred.
it.
It's just they're
Yeah,
little.
we have used the chicken for a photo shoot though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
But imagine if you had. It's a
Alpaca.
it's a business expense.
For Christmas.
It's a business expense if you buy an alpaca
I mean,
and you
I
do
feel
alpaca
like my
shoots.
little farm is a business expense because the clients come, they do their photo shoots of the kids, and the kids go in the back, look at the chickens, feed them.
Yes, it's a business expense.
Sometimes they get
It's a
eggs.
petting zoo.
Yeah.
Petting zoo.
So alpaca, same thing, right? So you want to walk my alpaca around my property, right? You know, whatever. and that's a
Put
business
them in little
expense.
outfits.
People bring them
Andrea's
to
gonna kill
weddings,
you.
so you could charge them to bring it to a wedding.
Yes.
They bring them out to weddings all the time.
Yep. Like bow ties.
Yeah, they have the bow tie
Yeah.
or the flower.
Haven't
They're
seen
like
that.
popular.
I think there's an alpaca farm near us actually.
This
near
bluebird
where we
alpaca
live.
is out. I don't
Yeah.
know.
What you call it? Waterloo Village has them too.
Yes,
They bring them.
Waterloo
Yeah.
Village.
Anyway, you can get the rejects, the cross-eyed ones for $500.
The cross-eyed ones.
Andrea,
looking at you
$500.
You know, when I get home
that
today, I'm going to be Googling alpacas.
I can see myself traveling by myself, which I don't mind.
But you can't just get the because if you're going to use these alpacas offsite, you also need to buy a trailer, and then you got to install the trailer. hitch to your-
I'm okay with the chickens
They'll stay home.
and the ducks.
I don't know. A lot of things that we still need to do to the house in order to
But
before getting any
the
animals.
cool thing about alpacas, they only shit in one area too, so you don't need to clean up the whole yard. They only shit in one area. Did you
Okay,
know that?
nice.
That's crazy.
Oh,
They know where their bathroom
What
is.
do they
in.
eat?
Grass and hay
Hmm.
and,
Okay, that's
feed
pretty
and
good.
feed and whatever feed
Could use it as fertilizer for the garden,
if
Mm-hmm.
you want. Well, it's like little pellets, I guess, sort of like deer.
like deer. Yeah,
Hmm.
interesting.
No more research, Richard.
He
Listen, I
looking
really
for
like alpacas.
so
Like I
be
didn't do
careful.
this. This is not a new thing. I know. You know, it's in my.
When Ben gets his alpacas, I'll be moving out.
The alpacas
Moon,
move in,
get
Get my
carrots
own
move out.
life, and he'll be the farmer alpaca.
I told our kids, right? Because Karis's retirement plan is that she's going to move into the city. I was like, well, I would my retirement plan. I'd like to have a farm with alpacas and maybe a garden,
Those
like
are
a
two
greenhouse.
totally different
Yeah.
like
Right?
dreams.
And a pi- and a pizza oven. And a pizza oven.
Our ultimate dream is a farm. Like we would like a very big piece of land with a farm, and
But now
Yeah.
where we live
you know
now.
what's funny though that we
No,
show up to
Richard
weddings
tries
and
to
like
make it
that
happen where he
morning, like I dress up all in
Not
my
really.
my whole like wedding clothes with my suit and everything. And then I put on my high boots that go up to here, rain boots, walk out to the chickens to feed them before I leave to a wedding. Clients see like our TikTok or something, and
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
"Oh, I
yeah.
saw you with the chickens this morning." And now I'm here photographing their morning.
Hey, do you have ducks?
We do.
Is it
What?
true?
Don't they spit? Don't they spit at you?
The ducks?
Alpacas?
Ducks?
No,
Wait, why
llamas
how much
do.
are alpacas?
Llamas.
No.
We're talking about
But
ducks.
alpacas will spit at you if they're angry with you. But don't, you know.
And they scream too, right? Don't they scream, make crazy noises?
Well, why would you? Yeah, but they don't.
You're
more like
killing the
cats.
dream here for them.
And also, you can't pet them on the head either.
Yeah.
Where
I
you have
actually
to pet
have
'em.
evidence.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you did record that? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Your work clothes.
Work clothes. Look at this.
Feeding the
Oh, I
ducks.
don't think
And,
we saw the ducks last time.
No, they're big now. They're big. Yeah, they look
Yeah,
like
what are
full
those,
out.
what's
They
the
look like
difference
the what is that duck? The Aflac duck.
yeah, what's the difference between that Aflac duck
So
and like
cute.
the little smaller ducks?
There's because we got 3 of those like
The
the
Aflac ducks,
Aflac ducks, and then one other one like
the regular
a
small,
dark
like
duck.
a Long Island duck that you
And
eat.
then there's one that's called like a runner duck.
Oh,
I
those
don't know.
run in
I
the
didn't know
water?
it was supposed. I didn't know because they were all small. So, but it's a runner
They're
duck.
running the water.
What's a runner dog?
They don't really go in the water though. They run more.
But do
they
your
look like a
ducks have
penguin
water
almost.
to swim in, or you give them a
Just a
little
little thing for them to go in
They
and shower.
not fly out of the little.
No, I mean not yet. I don't know. We're gonna move them soon.
They're gonna start migrating with the geese.
Yeah.
So long.
I saw this video recently, right, where this lone chicken was raised by with ducks, right, and this chicken thought it was a duck, so it would hop into the pond and just paddle around. But
Aw.
Can't
but-
fly. Yeah, you're not gonna.
no. But
So
the chicken floats.
cute.
Apparently, a chicken floats in the
The
pond.
chicken floats, but it can't fly with the ducks.
No, but anyway, it was raised on this farm. It was the only chicken in this
Chickens
family.
don't float.
Apparently, this
don't?
duck.
No,
apparently this
I think
chicken
they
does.
don't.
Can't swim.
No,
No, you should look it up. It's pretty funny. This chicken thinks it's a duck, and it's paddling
half
around.
chicken, half duck.
Really?
It looks like a chicken has web feet.
Yeah. All right,
What's next for the farm of Flores?
Nothing right now. I
Goat-
think it's
he
just
said goat.
maintaining. Yeah,
Goats, maybe
we're-
alpacas.
I would like it, but I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to risk.
Oh,
our
you know what we should
marriage.
You should get the fainting goats. Those are cute.
What
The
is
what?
I
that?
see them all the time. They were
Fainting goats?
actually the other
You
day I
scare them and
texted them.
They pretend to die
They
and
were
their legs go up.
They were selling 2 for like $90 or something. I was like, oh,
Yo,
damn
that's
it.
a
It's only an
steal.
hour away.
What about pigs that they were giving it for free?
Oh, the pigs too. Yeah, little pigs. Yeah.
But pigs go to be big pigs.
Get
Yeah.
mini pigs.
You can get little mini potbelly or a big
Mini,
one.
no, not.
No,
not
they're
mini,
small
mini.
because they're always giving them away.
So,
'cause
we wanna hear a
people-
funny story about
Yeah.
pigs. Hey, have you guys
they
ever
grow.
been to?
And they have a large litter.
Have you guys ever been to Indian Trail Club?
Yes.
All right, so
Oh, yeah.
the maitre d or the catering director, she has a pig. It's a big potbelly, right? Indonesian potbelly or something like that, right? And originally, when she got the pig, it was like really tiny. Now it's a really big ass pig, right? So the funny thing is, oh, by the way, she has her own Instagram account.
Instagram.
Okay,
It's
you
a
gotta
pig-
send that to me. Yeah.
A pig named Ruby, right? So in any case, that pig. Couple stories. Number one, it bit Ellie. I mean,
Ellie, me.
it bit Karis on the kneecap one time. It was so funny.
So the lady goes, oh here, give the pig.
Wait, she bring it to
so
the
they have-
wedding?
they have goldfish treats just out at the bar, right? Just for guests to eat, right? She's like, oh, she likes goldfish, right? So I was feeding the pig goldfish, and then once I stopped feeding it, it bit me. I'm like, so it had little bite mark. I'm like,
What the hell, pig?
She brings the pig to the weddings.
The pig's hanging out in the back.
So
Oh, that's
it's-
so
it's
funny.
the
I've
never
couple
seen it.
Know about it,
But the pig's not there
used to
anymore
bring it up.
because the
But
thing
I
is-
think pig is too big now.
And not only that, the pig attracts a lot of attention because it's really cute, right? So they don't
So,
want to
you
they
know,
don't want to pull
bride and
attention
groom.
away from the bride and groom, so they
Right,
keep
yeah,
the pig away,
It
right?
used to come
Yeah,
out,
we didn't see it when we were
I
there.
never
Yeah.
saw it.
I
So
see.
but the thing is, you know who's the big mouth here in all of us six? Do you know who the biggest mouth is?
You.
Me. So so I've been telling all the brides yo, there's a pig on
Ask
site.
for the pig.
Ask for the pig, right?
Oh,
So they were like, no, there's no
No
pig.
more.
There's
Yeah,
no
no
pig on
more.
site.
Now
But
there's a bird.
there's a bird. There is an African gray who talks.
Now there's a bird. Yep. Now she's a
Oh my
bird.
Interesting.
And you told everybody on the
I
podcast.
told everybody on the podcast, yo, there's a bird on site. So ask for the bird. There's a parrot on site.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, next time I come to your house, I expect to see some fainting goats and
Alpacas.
maybe an alpaca.
Goats.
An alpaca.
Alpaca.
At least 3 alpacas.
yeah. I don't know. We'll
Maybe
see.
that would be a long time then. Since we can
Maybe
get
you
to
could
see you.
have
like-
farm with next to Richard, and you guys could.
Yeah, you guys should move
And
out.
then I'll
out there.
just be in the city. Okay, just FaceTime me.
Yeah. I have this greenhouse that, during COVID, I had nothing to do, right? And I thought I was, this is when weed was legalized. So I was like, yo, I'm going to grow some weed also. So I need a farm for that.
Yeah.
I can't do it in the
Interesting.
she shed.
No, you need light. You need light. We have a greenhouse. You could do it there.
So I'll be chilling with my
Oh my God.
alpacas and just, eating some brownies with my alpacas. That would be
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love it.
Very interesting.
might cut
hobby.
that. I don't know if we're gonna keep that or not.
That's his retirement plan.
That's my retirement plan.
Alpacas with
And-
weed.
And weed and pizza. That's it. So we told the
I'll
kids.
pack your weed. Let's just call it.
Alpaca weed.
That's
Alpaca weed.
great.
So I told the kids, I was like, "Hey kids, you wanna hang out with your mom? Like, if mom and dad got separate houses, one in the city and one in in the countryside, where would you go?" It's like, but my house has like brick oven pizza and
They
alpacas.
chose brick oven pizza.
Damn.
I
Yeah.
was like, that's
Pizza?
totally fine.
Yeah. Richard has pizza
The
too.
unis.
Brick
Yeah.
oven pizza, yeah.
yeah.
We have the uni.
The uni
That's
got us
right.
all hooked. Oh, one thing I did want to talk about with you guys, because we touched on it a little bit with the client episode, was about how we all kind of transitioned to a new model for the past year, which was no longer just handing over digital files to clients and focusing really on the tangible product So how's that transition been for you guys?
So it has definitely been an adjustment. I mean, we went from starting our photography business, selling albums. We had a studio for 6-7 years selling albums. Then the pandemic hit, no more studio. We noticed that like these clients were like our clients were taking years to do their albums. Andrea would do follow-ups constantly and just like 2, 3 years, 4 years even would
Well,
pass.
you know what? To her, I mean, in her defense, it takes her 2 months to write an email. So
Yeah, no, I mean she was that was while when the girls were born.
Be
After
careful,
girls-
Ben. That was in
Postpartum, Ben.
postpartum.
Postpartum.
You can hear, you know.
All right, so it took a lot of follow-up.
Let's
So-
go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it took a lot of follow-ups, and then we were just done with albums. We were like, we never
Yeah.
want to do albums anymore. We removed albums from all of our packages. It was like strictly shoot and deliver, right?
How big was your backlog?
We had like almost 40 weddings that they never got their album, and we did everything that we thought we could do to
They
try
ordered
to get them.
albums, but you never fulfilled
No,
it.
their albums were included in their packages.
Oh, you never
but they
fulfilled it.
never,
Okay.
They
you
never
know, they
came
never
back.
came
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
They never
Holy
came
shit.
back. We sent designs. We tried to schedule and nothing.
I even like started just like designing something that it was included not to in order to upsell it, but just to get it.
Get it out the
Get
door,
it
and they
out, and
still
they
wouldn't
still
do
didn't
it.
get
They would
back
just,
to
you know,
me.
they would just take, and then like, you know, we would notice that we had like these two-year-old clients that will come back to us 2 years later. Oh, can we do our album? So it wasn't until like Jenn Ro told us, we were hanging out one day, and they were like, "You guys need to get back into IPS. You know, this is the pros of it, and like this is why." So they convinced us, and we switched over everything. So we went from albums to no albums to now having to figure out again how we're gonna sell albums again, included in everything. And like actually, there's a story I like to tell clients that this happened a while ago, but we were in Asbury Park shooting an engagement session, and Andrea and I went to this like restaurant because we were done with the session. We walk in. It had great reviews. Then we walk in, there's like a bunch of old elderly people, right? Like in their 80s. Who were like, oh man, like we just walked into like the wrong restaurant, right?
It is nurses.
Seniors. Yeah. And so we sat down for dinner, and like it was like a long like booth kind of, right? And next to us was two older couples, and the lady just pulls out an album from the side to show them their wedding album. And for the next 2 hours, we were eating dinner, listening to these two couples go over their entire wedding day. And like, and I always thought about that. Even when we decided not to do albums anymore, I always thought about that as like in the back of my head, like, you know, damn, like at least this is why we do what we do, right? Like wedding photography, at least they have that. But now that we do albums, that we've been doing it for a little over a year, like we always think about this. We always think like how, you know, how important it is for them to have this like something physical after.
Yeah,
after
I
the
think
wedding.
a large part of, you know, why it was a little difficult for you to incorporate this, you know, you had 3 kids in the house, you know, the you know, to design the album, there takes a lot of time.
Designing, you know, follow-ups,
And
like
all that stuff.
redesigning,
You know?
editing.
So having
Fixing,
someone delegating that to someone else to handle that for you, that was the only reason why we agreed to this as well. You know, there's no way, like, you know, between Karis and myself, we have 2 kids. But even though technically speaking, you know,
You
she's a
have
single
time.
parent.
It's just my
have time.
Karis has 2 kids.
I have
You
2
have
kids.
time.
I have 2 kids. Yes.
You know,
Karis's kids.
and you know, there's no way that we could squeeze in more time to service them with IPS. You know,
Yeah.
So this arrangement that, you know, all 6 of us use, you know, this is arrangement that worked for our business model as well.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
for our
nice.
lifestyle.
And then on top of that, like we will never hear a client say that they've never gotten their album from anyone. Like our clients, as you guys know, get their albums within just a few months after we shoot their wedding. They have like, you know, this beautiful design, beautiful book in front of them for forever. So it's nice to not have to worry about it. And actually, to add to this, you know, not only our wedding clients get albums, but now like all of our newborn clients
Good.
get albums. All of our maternity
Yeah.
sessions get albums. So it's nice.
Good to hear.
I did enjoy that video that your client posted when you guys showed her like her wall art,
Oh yeah.
and she was like in tears.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Is the
Yeah.
wall art IPS too?
Yes.
Yes, it was actually.
We do
And I did it myself. It was,
Oh, it's you guys did
yeah,
it.
Andrea did that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. That client we did we didn't do their wedding because they didn't know us at the time. But we did their first maternity, first newborn, second maternity, second newborn. We did like 2 years of holiday sessions with them. We did like family portraits, and they have albums for everything that we've done for them since the very beginning. So they have
Nice.
like probably like 6-7 books.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
that's probably
awesome.
gonna be that's probably like the most gratifying thing in what we do as photographers. You know, we don't just capture the weddings, but we get to see these faces, familiar faces. Year
And
in
she
and year
told
out.
us, she told Andrea that her mom had barely any pictures of her, like
Yeah.
physical prints, pictures, and that's why for her it's so important that she has these physical images. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So-
We did a wedding, I think last year, where the bride had her mom's wedding album at the wedding,
Mhm.
and everybody can look through it.
Why would she bring it to the wedding?
It was like on the, you know how they usually have
Oh,
a
memory table or-
with like
Yeah,
their
yeah.
photos of like
Yeah,
past
got it.
couples. So she
Cute,
incorporated their
yeah.
album too.
All right.
But
all right.
Yeah.
here's the thing: she didn't get an album.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was weird.
The
We
bride.
could not
That was
convince
weird.
her to buy an album.
She has not bought an album. I was like,
Well, you know what it is? Maybe she's not getting it from you. She's probably getting it on Shutterfly or Walmart
yeah,
or something.
Possible.
probably.
But
Yeah.
to see that, to me, it's like, all right, you value like
Yeah,
this. And
yeah,
we
but
could-
even like if you think about it, those memory stations, right, where they have like these beautiful frames and these old pictures of like generations and generations, you know, it's just contradicting the fact that you're not printing your own
Yeah.
stuff because
Mhm.
you're taking the time to look through these pictures, print them, and put them on your wedding for display. But then you just want everything to live on your phone.
Mhm.
Like in 20 years, 30 years, when your kids get married, what
Yeah.
are you gonna do? You're gonna try to
Put an
find your
iPhone there.
old iPhone.
Yeah, that's,
know,
that was the
so-
reason why we started. We bought onto this this whole entire concept because the thing was earlier this year. I don't know if I shared this with you guys, right? I shared it with the Molinas, but earlier this year I lost one of my hard drives for my personal photos. Like we're really good with taking care of our client photos, but our personal photos, like not so much. And I lost the hard drive after great expense. We were able to recover the images. I was like, this can't happen again because the thing is, you know, in the back of my mind, I was like, you know, there will come a time when I have enough time to turn these into prints and albums. That time, like 10 years goes by, 15 years goes by, and like I never got around to doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And I lost all these images. And like, what if something happened to me in Karis? What if something happened to me in Karis and that hard drive is no longer there, right? Like our kids will never have those pictures ever again if it's not in printed form. Now you could say like, well, they can live on the cloud somewhere. It's safer than being in a hard drive, right? But the thing
Yeah,
is,
but they're
that
just
hard
gonna
if
sit
that hard
there.
drive is not if that cloud storage is not being paid for, if Karis and I are
Yeah,
no longer
it
around,
gets-
that's also gone as well.
Gone, yep.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Andrea doesn't have that many pictures of herself as a child, but luckily my parents do. Like my parents have albums and albums. You know, you would just print the
Yep.
picture and
Put 'em
put it
in
in
there.
the little slip.
Inserted, yep.
But they have hundreds and hundreds and
Yeah.
hundreds of
Yeah.
of pictures printed.
this-
So maybe that comes from
We can do some tea.
Let's do it, yeah.
It's tea.
What's it?
someone
It's
in
not
this
someone;
group-
it's a whole bunch of people.
No, but someone started it. Someone
Mhm.
started it. It was like a post, I think, and you basically post like one picture or whatever.
A few pictures.
a few pictures.
In this group, you post a series of your work, and people just like tell you how much you should be charging.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a horrible thing to do. Why would they do that?
All right, well, let's Richard. I want to hear what your thought is. Like, why is this so horrible?
Because well, first of all, like I'm very proud to say I never price shopped other
Mhm.
photographers. Like, and I know that's happened to us for a fact because people just are dumb and writing their
Mhm.
emails.
Mm-hmm.
So like literally from the get go, like our pricing was just trial and error, trial and error, trial and error.
Mhm.
And like and then as we started growing, like we would raise our prices, drop our prices, raise our prices, drop them until we find the happy medium.
Mhm.
But I feel like at the end of the day, like even now, like yes, the market is very competitive, and you know where you are, your whoever other photographers are in the area too.
Mhm.
But it's what it's worth to you. Like, what does it matter what this person is gonna says that your work is worth? It's like, what is that time worth to you? The time, like for me, I won't leave the house for X amount of money because it's not worth it. I'd rather be with my kids.
Mhm.
I can't even imagine. I mean, how crazy this group is right now.
What do you
because-
feel are some of the main factors that you've considered when you were like pricing your business?
Well, first, like we have our financial goals,
Mhm.
right? What are our
that
financial
you need to
goals, the
make.
numbers that we need to make to cover things, the numbers that we want to make to achieve the next level of things. And then now that, you know, we have our 3 kids and our family, like time, like what is it worth for me to I want to be able to give, my parents did a great job at giving me everything that they could, even though they didn't have it. But I don't want to feel like I don't have it. We want to feel like we have everything that we can to give our kids even more than they deserve. So, we just price it based on that.
Which makes total sense.
Yep,
There's
we're in
a lot
agreement.
that's some of the main factors, and also your market, location. So in this group, one of the posts, it's been like I can't even count how many
I
posts.
There's a
gotta
lot
look
now.
this up.
But
I haven't
Yeah.
seen-
one specifically that really caught my attention was this photographer just moved from Europe to the Boston
Brazil,
area.
actually.
Brazil, yeah, he was in Brazil, then Europe somewhere, and then
Oh, okay.
and then he moved to the Boston area. So he's new to this market,
Doesn't know anybody.
right? And his work was insane, like awesome, amazing photographer. So he posts his work. Everyone's like, minimum 15,000. There's no reason why you shouldn't be charging minimum 10,000, 10,000.
Yeah, but he doesn't have
15,000.
any clients. He
Exactly.
needs to grow. He needs to get
Exactly.
himself out there.
So
like,
Mhm.
I think he was charging realistically like 4,000 to 5,000.
That's nice. That's not too bad.
Which
That's
is
manageable.
which is great, yeah. So he found it funny that people were telling him like it was more like, let me just stroke my ego a little bit and see what people are saying,
Mhm.
and people are like, he didn't specifically say the price point, but he kind of like gauged that range, and people were like, look at, you're crazy, like you're crazy to be charging that low, like, but. That's what it's been happening in this group. Like everyone's posting, these amazing photos. You're like, oh my God, $10,000. Another post, this person was like in the Midwest in a small town. Really good work. $15,000 you should be charging.
I mean, at the end of the day, like if you're in an area that our clients, they're unfortunately, I wish, but kind of I don't wish. Like maybe if they were 15,000 clients, they wouldn't be the type of clients that we like to work with.
Mhm.
So it's also I think it has a lot to do with like the area that you're in.
Mhm. There's so many factors.
Who you're trying to target. If you're
Mhm.
in that niche market where you have very high end, very luxurious high end weddings. But at the end of the day, like, with our IPS, I think we get pretty close to some of
Yeah.
these
The five
larger
figure-
Not
numbers.
five
not
figure.
all high ticket items or not all high ticket clients are a pain in the ass. I mean, you have low ticket clients who are also a pain in the ass too. You know what I mean? So like, it's not mutually exclusive. But I will add to what you said earlier. This photographer came from Europe and coming here to the U.S.
He's
and charging
brand new
nothing.
to the
Listen,
area.
I know we're personal friends with the top photographer in Europe, right? He's from Italy, right? And he's telling me like, it's a miracle if I can charge more than 2,500 USD
Mhm.
In
Yeah,
his
in
area.
in his
Europe.
area.
Right, yeah.
It's like, but his work, he's the number one photographer in Europe, in
Yeah.
Italy, right? I'm like, dude, 2,500. I was like, dude, you can get easily $4,000 or $5,000 here. But then, what do I know, right?
Mhm.
So like, but yeah, he was like, yeah, I'll associate shoot for you for $1,000. I'll fly, I'll pay for my own plane ticket to come from Italy to come here to shoot with you for $1,000. I was like, well, I mean, we got an issue with visas and whatnot, but I was thinking to myself, I was like, yo, if it were legal for these Europeans to come over here, I mean, it'd be game over here because
Yeah.
there's so much talent there.
Yeah. When we were in Spain, we were looking for a couple to take pictures of while we were there, and we were emailing a bunch of planners. So one planner couldn't find us a couple, but she volunteered her and her husband,
Mhm.
and they're both planners. They
Mhm.
they own a wedding planning business, and as like we did it just for fun, So the husband was like, as a to pay it back, I would love to get you a wedding here. He was like, what's your range? And I told him like what we start at, and he was like, I can't get you a wedding
Yeah.
here. He
Mhm.
was like, the best of the best in Spain is like about 2/3 of what we start at.
Mhm.
That's
And-
the same
and-
thing in Argentina.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
crazy.
anywhere in the world.
U.S. is one of the most
Yep.
expensive markets to get married in.
Wedding. Yep.
It's also the cost of living too. Like the
Yes.
cost of living in Argentina, the weddings that we shot in Argentina, because we did shoot we did 3 weddings there. We charged them for it, but there was no way that we charged them what
What you charge
they
here?
just there's no way they could afford it, So we adjust.
Mhm.
We adjust to it,
So
but we
that,
didn't
you know,
ask.
so you're talking about that Midwesterner who's
In
you
a
know,
small town.
small town in the Midwest. There's no way. I mean, the
And-
cost of living is going to be a little lower there.
And here's people telling this person you should be charging $10,000 or $15,000.
you know, there's so much more. There's so much more to your pricing than just the number that you put on the price tag that you put on your product. You know.
So what
Yeah.
does the guy do? He raises his pricing to 15,000. He realizes
books
that he's not
nothing.
booking anything, and then he has to lower
Yeah,
it
he
again.
books nothing.
I think it's skewed too because it's for other photographers who could tell the difference in your work and be like, "You're amazing. I know what went into this. I know the talent that you have." But the regular people, they
It's
just see
also-
like, "Oh, it's a pretty picture," and they're not going to value it at 15,000 as we as other photographers would.
Mhm.
They would just be like, "You're ridiculously expensive. I'm not paying for that," and get regular Joe Schmo for $3,000.
Also, like, how is this guy too? Because like, it's not only the work. We all know that. It's like the person
Experience.
behind the camera,
Yeah.
the experience. You can have someone who doesn't take that many great photos, or their photos look very posed and like very, unnatural, but they just have that reputation of being a higher end, and they make this amount of money.
These are all the things that I covered in last night's live.
Oh, you did?
Yes. There's a lot of things that go into this. It's not just the pretty photos. Because the thing is, I tell everyone this: what you're selling is not just pretty photos. Because the thing is, pretty photos at reasonable prices, fair prices, those clients can get them anywhere. If you think that you're the only photographer in town, you're out of your mind. Okay, there are at least 5 to 10 other photographers in your market who can shoot in a similar style as you do. Okay, and if you're competing on that alone, the cheapest will always win, and that's why you have all these photographers who are struggling to get bookings. They're like, oh, I keep losing to clients. They say, that so and so is offering it for cheaper or whatever, and I'm losing. They're telling me that I'm overpriced and whatnot. I'm like, that's because you're competing on just portfolio, and that's it. And I think that's in this group. That's what they were, judging and basing their assumptions on. Just the portfolio alone. It's more than just that. It's the experience that you bring to the table. It's your person, your personality, and all those other intangibles that you bring to the table. People don't understand that it's not the photo that's the product. You are the product. You are the product. Okay, that's what you need to sell. And I think people need to understand that when they're pricing themselves.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about this.
Good job, preacher
Yeah,
loud.
nice. That was great.
That was great. I think we end right there.
I think you're worth $15,000.
Yeah. But
So what were people getting upset at this?
No,
Like, or it just became like
what
a hot
happened
topic?
is that I feel like it's in that group. There's a lot of people that are starting out, and it's starting to create this like unrealistic, like perception that everyone should be charging these what you're worth or whatever.
You should
Which is-
transition that group into the New Jersey Brides group, and then
Yeah.
and then
See how quickly they charge
And-
$15,000.
and what's happening is also another way to look at it too is that some people whose work wasn't as amazing, right, but it was solid. People are telling them, yeah, you're in the 2,500 range, and they're averaging 5-figure weddings, no problem.
that's it. And now they feel insulted. Yeah.
Yeah, so
And-
I don't know who asked this question. Why do? Why
No,
did
it just
they-
started. It
was-
just started
it
by
was
itself.
a
And the
random
thing is, who
person.
cares?
Yeah.
Who cares what you're charging?
Yeah.
You're putting food on a table. You get to do. Listen, I used to work at a chicken factory. Okay, but right now I make enough money to feed my family. We go on nice vacations. We spent an unspeakable sum on our anniversary dinner. Like
You did it.
no, I didn't pick that restaurant.
You drank 2 bottles of sake. You wanted that extra thing.
All right. But
that's
the thing is,
$100 right there.
But the thing is, it doesn't matter what you make. If you're making money, you're putting food on the table, you're providing for your family, you're doing what's right for your clients,
why you
right?
make
Everyone has
money,
different
yes.
goals
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Different financial
You know,
goals.
like I remember when Ro and I we were attending a workshop or something like that, and some girl came up to us and asked us what we charged, and we just threw a number out, right? Well, it's like it doesn't really matter, but I'll tell you what we charge. It's like, oh my god, that's what you charge. I charge double what you guys charge. And Rolando's like, yo, slow your roll, lady.
But look,
I just met you like 5 minutes ago, man. Like,
On top of that, I bet you she does 5 weddings. It's 10 weddings a year. So like stuff like that is pointless. You know,
that's probably
Right,
yeah.
why.
It's pointless.
Like that's probably why in the beginning, like we fluctuated so much because we would do these workshops of these very
Exactly.
well-known photographers who were charging a minimum of 15 grand, and then like my pricing went from 2,500 to 9,000, right? Like overnight. Like
They
Like-
probably went to WPPI because when I remember the first time I went there and I came back home and I was like, oh, we should be it's like charging
More.
This
way
amount, this
more,"
amount,
and
you
blah blah
know?
blah. And that's what we did. We bring up our pricing, and then we find ourselves, no, I think
Yeah.
we shouldn't have done
That's not
that.
the right call,
And
right?
yeah,
That's why you guys know, we're very open with our pricing. Like, I don't care sharing it, because at the end of
I'm
the
the
day,
same
like,
way. Yeah.
if we book the wedding and they're happy,
Mhm.
they pay us X amount, and then we'll book them for the maternity, we'll book them for the newborn, and
But I think
Yeah.
the common denominator with all of us, we're all just trying to we're all here trying to make an honest living. We're not trying to like bamboozle our clients or anything like that.
no,
We're putting in a full day's work.
and help each other, help each other out
yeah,
as
Yeah.
photographers.
build that community, a trustful and honest community.
Yeah, I know this one photographer purportedly makes $20,000 a year, right? Didn't even buy me a $3 slice of pizza. This motherfucker still owes me $3, all right? He took me out to lunch, didn't even buy the pizza.
For his workshop. He told everybody, let's go for lunch. And this person ordered a pie and charged everybody for the slice.
Ridiculous. We're like,
And you
No
paid him for the
way.
workshop?
Yeah, I paid
How
him for the
much?
workshop. I think it was $700 a person. So for both of us to be there, it was like about $1,500.
Yikes.
No way.
$2. You want slice?
Like seriously, this was not lunch.
Hey, you gotta
It
get
was
close.
like
You gotta get close.
It was
to the
like
mic.
an after part after everything was
Oh,
over.
after the workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Let's go- let's go have pizza,
let's-
guys.
Let's go for drinks and pizza, right? His idea.
Oh,
So we
man.
all went out, like maybe like 8 of us went out, and then like
He made us all
he's
pay for our
"Who wants
pizza.
I guess
And
that's
then
the
he
person who
stops,
looks
and then
at
he's like,
the-
oh, he
receipt.
orders. He didn't even ask what we wanted. He just orders the whole thing, and he's like, oh, here. Who
Everyone
wants
take a
pizza?
slice.
And then here, give me $5.
Give me $3.
Are you serious right now?
I'm in
Oh my
shock.
God, I'll be
just,
shocked.
This is the
did a
guy that
workshop.
this is the guy that
We'll-
charges $20,000.
We'll tell you who it is.
We'll tell you it is after we-
off
we-
record,
we
yeah.
did a workshop.
Okay.
We did 2 workshops in Argentina, 3, and like we know that the financially in Argentina the money is like way less,
Sure.
So like we couldn't charge like $1,000,
course, right.
But we did have to give a price because you want these people, you want them to value
Of course.
what they're receiving. So we did price it, a small amount. But I remember we didn't do it with the intention of making money. We
Making
actually
money.
the money that we made, we just threw it back into everyone. We had like a nice dinner. We just
Fun, yeah.
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
just a
Do it.
nice
I would
experience
do it,
overall.
yep.
It's an honest living,
Yes.
and there are
Yes.
worse things that we could be doing in our lives.
And all that thing is skewed. Like, so what if people pay you 20 grand, right? I could charge 20 grand and I'll do 5 weddings a year, like.
Or one,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more of like, if you really want to flex, show me your W-2,
Yes,
show me
yes.
your tax
How
your
many
tax
you've done, yep.
documents.
Yep,
That's a flex.
Yeah, I was like, why are you flexing like that? I just met you 5 minutes ago. I remember when she was flexing in front of you. I was like, girl, you've only been doing this for 3 years, okay? Like,
Sharing
Everyone's
food?
different,
That's
right?
not good.
Everyone is like everyone's personalities are different. It seems like we're all very similar in the sense like, just we have good clients that we're happy with. Like a lot of our clients we've become very close friends with, and just have a good time.
yeah. So what's the moral of
Enjoy.
the story, right? Like, it doesn't matter what it is that you charge.
Every moral
for
is
your
the same
clients.
moral.
No. This was a
Be
different one.
nice, like
No, the moral of the story the moral of the story of today's tea is like, just charge. This is your own business. You do whatever the hell you want. All right. Don't let other people dictate how you run your business. Okay. Only you know what's right for your business. Only you know what's right for your clients. You do you. Okay. Be yourself. All right. Fuck all that noise.
I just gotta
Right.
make enough money to feed my kids and my chickens.
right.
And your future goats and alpacas. Andrea's like, she's rolling her eyes right now. It's like slot machines.
And also be allowed yourself to, to make mistakes and find the ways. Because probably something that you think that it will work, it won't. And then you have to readjust again.
One more thing I wanted to add, because I mentioned this on last night's live, right? A lot of the people that you take advice from, or a lot of the people that you see advice from, like on social media and stuff, you shouldn't be taking advice from these
No.
people. Okay? A lot of them, they don't even run successful businesses themselves.
100%.
They don't have
fake.
they don't have a
Yeah.
lifestyle. They don't have a lifestyle that you want either.
I'll tell
One
you
of the things we
what.
learned. Are you gonna? I think I know where you're going.
No,
Oh.
the pandemic.
Oh.
Exposed so many big names.
Mm-hmm.
The pandemic, all these, like rocks. I would call them rock star, like educators or photographers that we all know. And during the pandemic, they're like, I can't pay my mortgage. I can't pay this. And I'm just like, everything that you're showing online is like a persona, like,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not financially like stable or secure.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, like us, we're like low key and we're all getting by. We're all just fine. And then you see these big names who you put on a different pedestal, and you like idolize them, and they're not doing as good as you think they are. Like
Exactly. They got GoFundMe's for their mortgage payments and stuff. Those are not the people that you should be taking advice from. You vet the people you get information from. Check the receipts. Stalk them a little bit. Take everything that you see online with a grain of salt. Because listen, you don't even need to listen to me either. I could be full of shit for all you know, right? But the thing is, anything that you hear on the internet, just take everything with a grain of salt. Sometimes, the advice that you hear and that you see is not worth the paper that it's written on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it, right? It's a wrap.
yeah,
It's a wrap?
It's a
Well,
wrap.
thank
All right.
you.
Before
What?
we do that, we got to plug them.
Oh, you got to plug them. Go ahead.
So, another fun fact, Richard and Andrea is going to be sharing the stage with us at the Focused AF Summit. This segment is brought to you by the Focused AF Summit. So,
we can't afford commercials right now, so this is the best we can do.
This is the best. This is the best we can afford. So tell us what you're going to be talking about at the summit.
So we're going to be talking about how we keep our clients, our wedding clients, as future clients, and basically like how we become their family photographers, not just photographing weddings, but also everything that comes after.
And how you guys set that up, the workflow that goes into all that.
How we set it up, the things that we do behind the scenes, the communication, the social media, the marketing, to kind of just keep have us in our clients' minds at all times when it comes to these special milestones.
Awesome.
I can't wait.
We could all learn from that.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. So if you guys want to watch and listen to their presentation, you guys can join us at the Focused AF Summit. You can get your tickets at focus-af.com/summit. So on that note,
Keep in mind, 100.
Damn it, Rolando.
100 attendees.
What's that?
100 attendees, and Ben will have a costume.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. So let's say that again. So what was that, Rolando?
If we can reach 100 attendees for the summit, Ben will have a costume on.
I was supposed to wear. Oh, that's right, with Marvin.
With someone.
Yeah.
No,
yes.
So Marvin is going to dress up as a Power Ranger, and I'm going to dress up as a dinosaur.
100 is
100.
the magic
So
number.
right now we are about, I want to say, halfway there. So
That's
So
a
Let's
lot.
do it.
Shoot.
Let's do it.
yeah, let's
talk in
do
front
it.
of 50 people. Oh man.
That's nothing.
Nah, we'll be
The
fine.
stadium, the arena, not arena.
The auditorium.
Yeah, the auditorium fits 350. It maxes out at 350.
All right, nice.
Yeah, but if
It's nice and dark.
if we can get 100, 150, I'm happy. But even 50, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we just need to change one of these people's lives.
Yeah,
you know?
if we can help one person, that's my job is done. Actually, no, I need at least 6 to pay for the rental. But,
All right,
we
six,
get-
7 because we want the dinner after.
so we
Pizza
get
on Ben.
it'll be a uni
I think
pizza.
we'll bring
$3.
the unis.
Everybody $3.
We'll bring our unis just in case.
Yes,
We'll be in the
Uni's in the parking lot.
So we need 2 unis, right? So you bring your uni and you bring your uni, and we'll make
have them
pizza in the
back
parking
to
lot.
back.
Yeah,
don't
meet
worry.
us at the parking lot.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Anyway, I think that's a great way to wrap up the show.
Richard and Andrea, let us know where people can find you.
You can find us at Richard B. Flores, at Richard B. Flores. Or, if you want to follow our chicken journey, Rich B. Flores.
It's like Michael B. Jordan, right?
No, then also we have our newborn account,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is newborn photography by RBF.
Yes, and then Andrea's makeup is makeup
Yes.
by Andrea AF.
Nice.
AF.
So go follow them.
AF.
AF, there we go.
All
AF.
kinds of. I love it. It's awesome. So anyway, guys, hope you guys will give them a follow. And guys, thank you all so much for joining us today. If you guys would like to check out the behind the scenes, bloopers, highlights, and all that good stuff, you can follow us on social media on Instagram at focus.af. You can download this episode anywhere you download your podcasts on Apple, Spotify, Google. Also, we'd love to hear your stories. If you guys got some tea you want to share with us, you got some wedding horror stories, we want to hear those stories as well. You can reach out to us at hello@focus-af.com.
Hello.
Hello. But I think that's pretty much it. And on that note, hope you guys are focused AF.
Sure.
Yes, sure.
All right.
We're hungry AF.
Bye.
You're not focused there yet.
Bye.
We'll see you guys next week. Adios.
Bye.
Focused AF is a fun, business-focused podcast for wedding creatives.
Co-hosted by award-winning husband and wife wedding photography teams Ben and Karis.
And Jenn Ro, where we help fellow wedding creatives with their sales and marketing.
With laid-back conversations and real talk with some of our most favorite people in the universe.
And with that being said, are you focused AF?
I am Focused AF today.
We are Focused AF.
I think I might be Focused AF.
Welcome to the Focused AF podcast.